NASDAQ up 6. Join us for the Steffan Tubbs Show coming up next, only on Newstalk 710 KNUS, the official station of the 2022 Western Conservative Summit. I'm Roger Criddlebaugh.
Sunny to partly sunny skies, breezy and mild, 60s and low 70s with brisk and gusty west winds through the rest of the afternoon. Lows tonight near 40 degrees and still breezy. Friday and the weekend, very little happening. We'll be low to mid 70s Friday and sunny. Sunny to partly sunny for the weekend with 70s and low 80s Saturday and Sunday with overnight lows in the 40s. Weather brought to you by Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Now with a 2% option, pay less, keep more. ColoradoFlatFeeRealty.com. Meteorologist Don Day, 710 KNUS.
A longtime newsman with an opinion, a proud dad, an American, supporter of our veterans and active duty military. Common sense discussion begins now. This is the Steffan Tubbs Show on News Talk 710 KNUS.
Thank you very much. We've got a busy show. Jimmy Carter makes another visit. No, he's not joining us via phone. He's not here in studio. But with what is going on, I don't know. I guess some would say I'm on a Jimmy Carter kick. But some of the old audio from the mid to late 70s, I just find so ironic that we can play for you going back into the archives. Things that kind of make sense today, things that didn't make sense then and certainly don't make sense now. We're talking energy, and also if you are maybe a student of presidential history, or if you lived through the Carter administration, whether you liked it or not. He gave a speech, and it was known or became known as the Crisis of Confidence speech. And holy cow, could that speech be delivered for the most part today? Of course, this sitting president right now could never, ever deliver this type of speech. He never would because, well, you wouldn't want to offend anyone. So we'll have that. If we have the time, I want to do it coming up in the first segment here. We've got a very busy program for you. We've got a lot of heavy emphasis on the 2022 Colorado State Legislative Session that officially, you can stick a fork in it. It is done. And I am happy to welcome our friend of the program, and now he's term limited. He is out of there. Our friend Chris Holbert, the Senate Minority Leader, he's going to stop by for a few segments coming up. We'll have Chris in studio starting at the bottom of the hour. Of course, fentanyl and abortion, or abortion, fentanyl. Unless I'm missing something, those are the top two topics. Remember, it used to be stuff like, gay marriage, obviously marijuana, gun control. But what happened, I just, the abortion bill we've talked about so much over the course of the last 5-6 shows with you. And hopefully by now you know how disgusted I am to live in a state where they will allow what they will allow. But when it comes to fentanyl, I saw an article in the Denver Gazette earlier today that Colorado Springs Mayor, former Attorney General John Suthers, is calling for of course he's a Republican, calling for Governor Polis to veto the fentanyl bill. I don't see that happening. And John Suthers also calling for a special session on fentanyl. I think hell will freeze over before, that will happen. But we'll talk with State Senator, and now it's kind of weird because he's our pal. He did such a great job with us, and he's just a solid, nice guy. And I hope he's not hearing me because he's going to come. Matt, we're not even going to let him get in the studio because his ego and his head will be so big. But he truly is, Chris Holbert, a really solid individual, and was perfect and so good when it came to, hey, Chris, can you help us out? We're doing this little documentary film called Denver in Decay. And those of you that have seen that, you know that Chris is in the film. So he'll be around. We've got Hugh McKeon coming up in a little less than an hour at 4:05. And we'll talk about this. One of the state representatives, Representative Terry Carver, she was on the floor of the Colorado House yesterday talking about this fentanyl bill and how she, a conservative, she talked with just a few of the district attorneys around the state of Colorado. Well, I'll let her explain.
22 DAs, right? And there are different views. But I managed to get on the phone with 3 that I knew had different positions on this bill. Showed them the language and asked them the question: can you effectively prosecute felony possession of 1 to 4 grams with this language? And the answer universally of those 3, now that's just 3 out of the 22 DAs, but I specifically picked 3 that I knew had different positions on this bill. All 3 of them said no.
That certainly doesn't surprise, say, our district attorney friends of the program, like out of the 4th Judicial District, our friend Michael Allen. That most likely does not surprise our friend of the program from the 18th Judicial District, John Kellner. I mean, it's almost like, what's the point if you are not going to address a crisis and treat it like a crisis? The language in this bill, and I don't know if our good friend Weld County Sheriff Steve Reams is listening right now, but he can tell you from years of experience dealing with this legislature or this type of legislative body controlled by the Democrats. Things that are passed, the language is the key. The language is the key. If you are going to kick law enforcement in the Comasee-Chami, if you are going to basically take the teeth from prosecutorial entities, what's the freaking point? Just to say that you talked about it? I mean, and holy cow, I'm frustrated just as a Joe Blow Coloradan. Maybe you are as well, but how about the people that will now have to deal with the consequences of what they decided to pass? This being House Bill 22-1326. So keep that number in your head, because as we probably go down the road, we may on this program simply refer to it as 1326, just like we did Senate Bill 217, et cetera, et cetera. So we've got a lot of talk ahead, and of course, we welcome your participation. Not only do we have once again, this is the second time this week that we will go to, of all the presidents, we'll go to Jimmy Carter, because there's a really nice tie-in to the current crisis that we're in when it comes to energy. Not sure if you were with us earlier in the week, but I had seen, and I think it was on Monday, I had seen for the first time ever in my life in this greater Denver and Decay area, I had never seen a gas station with fuel for sale with a number 5 and then a decimal point. Now, you may have seen it. I said this earlier in the week. I'm not saying this is the all-time. It's never been higher. I've just personally, in the metro area, in parts of 4 decades, I told you, I had never seen a 5. Well, the Biden administration today, let me finish. The reason I brought that particular angle up is because when we talked about that, I had seen a 5. Then it had come out, earlier in the week, that the average gallon of gas in the United States was $4.37 a gallon, never been higher. Nope, not in the Not in the Obama years, not in the Trump years, not in ever. Well, that's history. That's old news now, because currently the average gallon of gas, it's gone up 3 cents. So now, thanks, Joe, the average gallon of gas as we speak in the United States of America is $4.40 per gallon.
Joey, baby.
Why do I bring this up right now? Well, first of all, I'm going to. Secondly, let me read to you. And then, I want to get into the Jimmy Carter. Trust me, it'll make sense. And I'll also give you the ways you can weigh in, as well as we count down the minutes to Chris Holbert. We'll talk more state politics. Some of you may have seen this, but our partners at CBS News had a story that is so freaking frustrating to read. But I'll read you basically the headline synopsis. The Biden administration earlier today officially canceled one of the most high-profile oil and gas lease opportunities that was pending before the United States Department of the Interior. Could this be like any worse of a headline for this administration? And by the way, they decided to do it. No, we're just going to, nope. Nobody seems to be showing any interest. This is in Alaska. And obviously, this decision comes at a pretty darn important time for Democrats, for Republicans, most importantly, in my opinion, for people like you and me that are paying $25, $35 more every single fill-up. We talked about that earlier in the week. But they canceled today one of the most high-profile oil and gas lease, opportunities. The decision, what this means, there will not be the potential to drill, get this, in more than 1 million acres of what's called the Cook Inlet in Alaska. Now, of course, if you're a member of Greenpeace, if you are a member probably of PETA, if you are one of these groups that, no, we can't stand when people like you say, drill, baby, drill. Well, then you're celebrating this today. But once again, I repeat to you, and forgive me, the men and women in this country, and of course, heavy emphasis because we are where we are, the people, the men and women in the oil and gas industry in Colorado and the other 49 states. I don't know how big the oil and gas industry is in Hawaii, but you get my drift. They did not wake up this morning going, if we cause some explosions and fire comes out of somebody's faucet, if we by chance kill a few kids, we may pollute a stream or a river. We'll just say we're sorry and pay a fine. No, that's not how they operate. How many times have we talked about the oil and gas industry in this country is the most heavily regulated industry in our country. And they don't wake up trying to kill your little kids or try to pollute rivers. Do things happen? Yes. Do things happen in every line of work and industry? Yes. But what they did today, what does this tell you? Once again, all they are concerned about is this Green New Deal, oil and gas, bad. Not only bad, satanic. Horrible. Oil and gas kills. So let me go back with that in mind of what the Department of Interior did today. Let's go back. I want to make sure I am telling you the exact date of what you are about to hear. This is from April 18th, 1977, from the Oval Office, President Jimmy Carter talking energy.
The oil and natural gas that we rely on for 75% of our energy are simply running out. In spite of increased effort, domestic production has been dropping steadily at about 6% a year. Imports have doubled in the last 5 years. and our nation's economic and political independence is becoming increasingly vulnerable. Unless profound changes are made to lower oil consumption, we now believe that early in the 1980s, the world will be demanding more oil than it can produce. The world now uses about 60 million barrels of oil a day, and demand increases each year about 5%. This means that just to stay even, we need the production of a new Texas every year, an Alaskan North Slope every 9 months, or a new Saudi Arabia every 3 years. Obviously, this cannot continue. We must look back into history to understand our energy problem. Twice in the last several hundred years, there's been a transition in the way people use energy. The first was about 200 years ago, when we changed away from wood, which had provided about 90% of all fuel, to coal, which was much more efficient. This change became the basis of the Industrial Revolution. The second change took place in this century, with the growing use of oil and natural gas. They were more convenient and cheaper than coal, and the supply seemed to be almost without limit. They made possible the age of automobile and airplane travel. Nearly everyone who is alive today grew up during this period, and we have never known anything different. Because we are now running out of gas and oil, we must prepare quickly for a third change, to strict conservation, and to the renewed use of coal, and to permanent renewable energy sources like solar power.
Carter thought coal was okay, but he also, in April of 1977, says we're running out of oil. That is not true. He talked about how at that time, I believe the number was the world was consuming about 66 million barrels of oil every day. You may be surprised to know that, at least according to Mr. Google and some of the, information there, several different sources, approximately. Well, from 1977 to currently in, I guess, most likely, let's say the official numbers were probably from last year, 2021. From 66 million barrels of oil a day in 1977 globally to now 88 million barrels of oil per day globally. That's not a huge increase. But we're not running out of oil. What we are getting pretty damn close to running out of, the politicians that will actually allow this oil production to continue. But do you see what I'm saying when it comes to, that was the crisis then, Jimmy Carter, we are running out of oil. No, Mr. President, you have been one hell of a civic leader and a global man of peace post your presidency, but we weren't running out of oil then. We're not running out of oil now. That's not what the Green New Deal is about, friends. You know this. Their mantra is not, we better do this because we're running out of oil. No. It's because global warming, climate change, and a mantra and an administration with its thesis statement based on the Green New Deal. We're going to go a little long in this segment. We'll get news. But right now I want to continue with Jimmy Carter and listen to this from July 18th of 1979 called, it's been known as, or come to be known as, the Crisis of Confidence speech. Even if you can't stomach Jimmy Carter, especially when he was president, I urge you, listen to his words and you tell me if some of what he said in the summer of 79 could not be said to a vast majority of the United States population in May of 2022.
Why have we not been able to get together as a nation to resolve our serious energy problem? It's clear that the true problems of our nation are much deeper than gasoline lines or energy shortages, deeper even than inflation or recession. So I want to speak to you first tonight about a subject even more serious than energy or inflation. I want to talk to you right now about a fundamental threat to American democracy. I do not mean our political and civil liberties. They will endure. And I do not refer to the outward strength of America, a nation that is at peace tonight everywhere in the world, with unmatched economic power and military might. The threat is nearly invisible in ordinary ways. It is a crisis of confidence. It is a crisis that strikes at the very heart and soul and spirit of our national will. We can see this crisis in the growing doubt about the meaning of our own lives and in the loss of a unity of purpose for our nation. Our progress has been part of a living history of America, even the world. We always believed that we were part of a great movement of humanity itself called democracy, involved in the search for freedom. And that belief has always strengthened us in our purpose. But just as we're losing our confidence in the future, we're also beginning to close the door on our past. In a nation that was proud of hard work, strong families, close-knit communities, and our faith in God, too many of us now tend to worship self-indulgence and consumption. Human identity is no longer defined by what one does, but by what one owns. But we've discovered that owning things and consuming things does not satisfy our longing for meaning. We've learned that piling up material goods cannot fill the emptiness of lives which have no confidence or purpose. The symptoms of this crisis of the American spirit are all around us. For the first time in the history of our country, a majority of our people believe that the next 5 years will be worse than the past 5 years. 2/3 of our people do not even vote. The productivity of American workers is actually dropping. And the willingness of Americans to save for the future has fallen below that of all other people in the Western world. As you know, there is a growing disrespect for government and for churches and for schools, the news media, and other institutions. This is not a message of happiness or reassurance, but it is the truth, and it is a warning.
Is that amazing? Again, I'm a little boy at the time Jimmy Carter is in the White House. I remember all the talk of he's a peanut farmer from Georgia. I don't know if I've ever heard anything from Jimmy Carter besides this where he sounded angry. Again, I'm just saying, I have not heard that. But how about those words? So you wouldn't hear that kind of speak today from today's Democrat president. You know, you instead have half the time you have no idea what he is saying. Hopefully this has made sense. What I'm trying to do and show you, it's whether it's energy or the way we were and Carter in 1979 perceiving this country. Oh, Mr. President. There are a lot of people in this country currently that would probably take 1979's angst 50 times more than today's angst in 2022. Isn't it interesting, too, how he talks about God and churches? You know, the current administration and this president may try, but it ain't the same. because you don't want to offend anyone. Well, we don't want to offend the agnostics. When we come back, we'll preview the rest of the program. I'll remind you of the ways to get in touch with the program, and we'll welcome in Senate Minority Leader, former, wonder if he shed a little tear. Chris Holbert, our friend of the program, joins me in studio. You know how passionate I have been, and I've told you about it, but I currently am, and I always will, about our state's agricultural industry. Ag is, as you know, such an important part of Colorado's economy, its history, and its heritage. It's a key element, obviously, and the success, among many things, it's the availability of water. For yet another year, every single county in the Centennial State is under an officially designated drought status, from moderate to severe. If the conditions get worse in regions of the state where most of our farms are located, well, that ain't good news. Yes, droughts, of course, stretch budgets and make it hard for farmers and ranchers to make ends meet. But when those farms dry up, so do rural communities and towns that rely on agriculture to support not only our state's economy, but their local economies as well. That's where I'm trying to pull in and do the Colorado Farm Bureau. They're made up of farmers and ranchers, consumers like you and me that support ag and find solutions to its biggest challenges. No easy answer for drought, obviously, but your membership with the Farm Bureau can help solve some of the problems. And of course, they work legislatively both in downtown and in DC as well. Keep Colorado's family farms and ranches going. Become a farm member like I am, a Farm Bureau member, online anytime. You can get all the information there. It's not going to break the bank. Become a member and be proud of it. It's coloradofarmbureau.com. That's coloradofarmbureau.com.
Good afternoon. Well, traffic volume picking up on the major roadways. Now, we do have several problem spots right now. Accidents slowing traffic. Westbound 6th Avenue Freeway, US 6 approaching Federal Boulevard. You can expect some curiosity slowing there. Also, Bellevue Avenue at South Yosemite Street, as well as East Lincoln Avenue at Chambers. Otherwise, you have increasing traffic volume on the major roadways. No major problems right now as you drive from Denver down to Colorado Springs on the interstate. I'm James Brown with traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Stores are a new world of possible with innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Explore more at your local Staples store or staplesconnect.com.
Why Boot Barn for your business? Because nothing is more important than your workers' safety and your peace of mind. With a commercial account at Boot Barn, you get a customized program specific to your business. The largest assortment of work boots and workwear for every industry. The convenience of having a one-source nationwide supplier and nationwide customization. You need safety and compliance. We have your back. Commercial accounts at Boot Barn Work.
It's springtime in the Rockies. Come and explore beautiful Carbon County, Wyoming. There's no better time of year to enjoy the natural mineral hot springs in Saratoga. Soak your bones in the healing waters of the Hobo Hot Pool, free to the public and open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For information and directions, visit WyomingCarbonCounty.com or call 324-3020. Carbon County, Wyoming. Get your West on.
Hi, it's Peter Boyles. Don't go through another summer with that awful joint pain. Call QC Kinetics now. Here's the deal. The pain in your back, your knees, your shoulders, it can be now treated with the latest in precision medicine using natural biologics, growth factors that can restore and repair damaged tissue. Really exciting stuff. It's right here. QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, giving you access right here, this modern day joint pain solutions. You can get lasting joint pain relief, no drugs, no steroids, no downtime, and no surgery. You heard Emmett Smith raving about QC Kinetics. You've heard or seen other high-profile people talking about it. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics can help you get your life back again. Take action now. A free consultation, powerful, effective joint pain treatment, natural biologics are right here. So call QC Kinetics now, 303-900-8986. That's 303-900-8986. Peter Boyles for our friends at the law offices of Dan Kaplis. They're a serious firm. For serious cases, they take righteous injury cases on a percentage fee basis. peace through strength. That's the philosophy. Dan Kaplas's law firm maximizes all the out-of-court settlements by proving they will go to trial with all barrels blazing if the insurance company doesn't pay all that it should as soon as it should. Dan has worked his entire professional life to build a world-class firm for the people. He has more than 38 years of high-level trial experience, unmatched track record, including 5 straight multi-million-dollar jury verdicts in the largest jury verdict against a trucking company in Colorado history. They're the law firm where the good people from all walks of life, without regard to ability to pay, receive the elite level of legal representation that the rich and powerful enjoy. If you need Danny's help, call him 303-907-5003. He did it for my family. 303-907-5003. Hit dancaplaslaw.com. It's Dan, C-A-P-L-I-S law.com.
Before Bamboo HR, I feel like crying just thinking about it.
We were still handling everything via paper, and we literally had paper stacked.
It was all in spreadsheets and like folders.
From the moment I started using it, I felt calmer.
As soon as we started using the Bamboo like onboarding checklist, I mean, it was extremely easy.
Headcount, turnover, years of service. Like there's just so many different reports that I use at different points in time.
I'm like totally set free to focus on the people, to focus on development, to focus on team dynamics.
It's freeing me up to do more of the stuff that actually matters in HR, which is interacting with people, learning from them, and then building stuff for them.
Everything is in this one place. I can't even imagine what it would be like without Bamboo HR.
We're Bamboo HR, and we'd love to set you free to do great work. Come try our award-winning all-in-one HR software for free with no strings attached. Visit bamboohr.com/HR for this free trial offer. That's bamboohr.com/HR.
Spring is finally here with all its big moments and happy days, and we're celebrating the road easier way. Come try our new seasonal menu additions at no extra charge, and bring your loved ones to honor your special life milestones. Celebrate spring and celebrate you at Rodizio Grill, the Brazilian Steakhouse, 18th and Wine Coop in Denver. Parking validation available.
Fact, our bodies are under attack every day. Whether it's COVID, vaccines, the air we breathe, the water we drink, and even the food we eat, we are constantly trying to keep up with the Colorado weather, fighting off stress and inflammation. But there's a solution. C60 Complete. C60 Complete is a scientist-formulated, doctor-approved antioxidant supplement that helps you achieve a longer, healthier, and happier life. Do what I'm doing to improve my health and go to purebellavita.com. That's purebellavita.com to get your monthly supply today.
News Talk 710 KNUS. Listen live on Odyssey. Now, back to Steffan Tubbs. News Talk 710 KNUS.
Might be goodbye. We'll see how Chris Holbert, former now Senate Minority Leader, said goodbye to all of his Democrat friends. Did they exchange soup mix recipes or what have you? First, though, it is most certainly no laughing matter, and COVID cases, even here in Colorado westward, and Mike Roberts had a good article on it today. COVID numbers around the country are going up, and sadly, the country marking a milestone.
President Biden opened a global COVID-19 summit this morning with the grim news.
Today, we mark a tragic milestone here in the United States. 1 million COVID deaths.
The number of deaths in Europe has now reached 2 million, and President Biden called on nations to keep up the fight.
We all must do more. Must honor those we have lost by doing everything we can to prevent as many deaths as possible.
The president's ordered flags in this country be flown at half staff to honor those who have died.
Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News. 37 minutes now past 3 o'clock. Coming up, we've got Hugh McKean. He is the House Minority Leader. And then at 5 o'clock, 5:05, we will have State Representative Mike Lynch. He represents parts of Larimer and Weld County. Representing for a long time, beautiful Douglas County, Colorado, is our friend of the program. He knows his way around this studio. Chris Holbert joins us. Welcome, man, and we'll get to why I'm sad, but you're going to be with us for a few segments, but always good to see you, man. Thank you.
Absolutely, Steffan. I will never forget the day you called and asked if I'd do a little video segment for you on a documentary that you were doing, and now we know that as Denver and Decay. I just admire your work.
Thank you.
And I'm grateful to you and Kelly and everybody here for the opportunities to sit in that chair and guest host for you and Randy and others. It's really been a joy.
Well,
Thank you.
you're great on the radio, and the one thing that you can do, because you are, we'll get into it. It's public knowledge. You are leaving the state of Colorado. No, he hasn't given up on the state, but many reasons why you're heading out of Colorado. But with technology being the way it is, I mean, once you get settled, you can do this show from anywhere.
Kelly, if you're listening, don't get rid of my number. I would do that in a heartbeat.
Well, don't change it. Boy, let me ask just an overview, and Chris Holbert will be with us at least for the next hour or so. How do you summarize what you all just wrapped up?
Well, 120-day session was a good thing to experience again. During the 2 years of COVID, the state Supreme Court allowed the legislature, or should be specific, allowed the Democrats in control of the legislature to count the 120-day session non-consecutively. So if we weren't there on a weekend, those days didn't count. If they adjourned for a couple of weeks or a month, that didn't count. But now we're out from underneath the rule that allowed that to happen during the pandemic. And our 120 days started in January. I believe that was January 12th, Wednesday, and it ended at midnight last night. Anything the legislature might try to do after that is unconstitutional. And we're a part-time legislature, and I'm a citizen again, just like you. I don't have any power.
Was it tough because you're term limited? Was it tough, seriously, to kind of you very well may go back down to the Capitol in Colorado, down in downtown Denver, many more times throughout your life, but you won't go in to that building the same. Was it tough leaving with what you have been elected to for multiple terms?
Yeah, 12 years in the legislature, 4 in the House, 8 in the Senate. That's the term limit. Last year, I may have said this on the air sitting in for you before, but last year, it felt like I had been handed my pink slip and told, do a great job a year early. And it's like, yeah, hooray.
You got it.
And there's not a whole lot new, but what I really am grateful for is the Senate Republican caucus. There's 15 of us. We're trying to get back to 18. There's just no division in the caucus. We don't always agree. If there's some disagreement, we can go in a room and have it out. But there's really no divide in our caucus, and the team that we have has learned to be effective on the floor. We can debate long like our colleagues in the House, but I think the institutional memory and the experience that I bring and our caucus brings, Jerry Sonnenberg from Sterling, the only member of the 100 who will hit 16 years, 8 in the House, 8 in the Senate. That's the max. But there's only one out of the 100. We've got the experience in our caucus to be effective through negotiating. It isn't necessarily threatening, but okay, we've got 250 amendments on the collective bargaining bill. Do you want to run some amendments, Democrats, or would you rather us take up a day or two on this and run all these amendments? And it was on that bill, Senate Bill 230, we got 4 key amendments that the counties were asking for. So we backed off of that 250 or so amendments. We got what we wanted out of it. And then the House took it even further. So well done, Leader McKean and his team.
Yeah, he joins us, Leader McKean, coming up at a little less than 30 minutes from now at 4:05. I've got to ask you, I said earlier to start the program, to me, from the outside, you're hyper inside, obviously. But to me, this legislative session, it was abortion and fentanyl, or fentanyl and abortion. What do you think of 1326? Does it have the teeth for prosecutors to get tough on fentanyl, which is killing people, multiple people, probably on average, every single day in this state?
It's not as good in the final form as it was when it left the Senate. really proud of the efforts in the Senate to get rid of it. It's I think the legal term Latin mens rea, but knowingly is what I refer to it as. There's this condition in the bill that, as it came out of the House, that if you didn't know that whatever you had in your pocket had fentanyl in it, either it's pure fentanyl or even laced with fentanyl, if you didn't know, if you look,
how do you prove to someone that you know, hey, I know it was in my pocket in a baggie, but that wasn't mine. I didn't know what they were. Come on.
Right. So we got rid of that in the Senate, and with a bipartisan vote, and I was proud of that. So we got rid of that condition, and that made the bill better. The Democrats called a conference committee. I'm really proud of the House and the Senate. There was a substitute motion, and a vote was recorded to say, no, we don't want to do that, because we understood that the Democrats wanted to get into what's called a conference committee, where there's 3 from the House, 3 from the Senate. Because the Democrats control both chambers, they'd have 4, 2 Republicans, and they were going to get what they wanted. And what they did is they put the knowingly piece back in, and then got rid of a repeal of the bill. It's better than where we have been, but it's not as good.
Where I'm sorry. This is my talk show opinion. Concerned Coloradan Chris. It's not good.
Right. I agree. The legislative process is not perfect, and the Democrats control it. It is better than where we were, but it is not as good as what the Senate originally passed, and it's disappointing that we weren't able to stay there.
I want to talk with you. We got to take a quick break. I want to talk about the abortion legislation and the signature from the governor. Also, it's not Where's Waldo. Yesterday, apparently, for at least a few minutes, or for some, it was Where's the Governor? We'll talk about that coming up. Again, our guest, our friend, your kind host when he would fill in for me and others on the station, Chris Holbert. We'll also get into whatever he wants to share about why he's leaving Colorado, but it's not because of, well, Colorado or Denver in decay. Let's take a time out now, get news, and we're back with Chris Holbert. The minority leader in the House, Hugh McKean, joins us at 4:05 as we look back at the 2022 state legislative session. This is 710 KNUS.
News Talk 710. Update.
71 degrees in Denver, a few clouds and breezy. The 710 5-day forecast coming up. Our top story, evacuations are being ordered for parts of northeast Colorado Springs. Firefighters say people living near Ackerman and Summer Grace need to get out immediately because flames are close to homes. Evacuees can go to UC Health Park. Ridgeview Elementary School students were taken to Vista Ridge High, where they can be picked up. Skylark Mobile Home Park also has been ordered to evacuate due to a separate fire. House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy is slamming a subpoena from the committee investigating last year's incident at the Capitol. Lisa Taylor has more.
McCarthy told reporters the panel isn't conducting a legitimate investigation. He accused committee members of going after their political opponents. The committee wants to hear about McCarthy's phone call with now former President Trump on January 6, 2021. The panel also sent subpoenas to 4 other House Republicans who are closely aligned with Trump. They are Ohio's Jim Jordan, Arizona's Andy Biggs, Pennsylvania's Scott Perry, and Mo Brooks from Alabama. All 5 Republicans refused invitations to testify voluntarily.
Colorado Avalanche playing the waiting game. They will play the winner of the Blues Wild Series. Blues lead 3-2 in that series. Game 6 tonight. This update brought to you by Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag. Wendy's Biggie Bag is just $5. Get your choice of a double stack, junior bacon cheeseburger, or crispy chicken BLT plus 4-piece nugs, small fries, and a small drink, all for $5. U.S. price and participation may vary. The Dow finished down today, 103 points. Wake up with George Brockler weekday mornings from 6 to 10 only on News Talk 710 KNUS, the official station of the 2022 Western Conservative Summit. I'm Roger Criddlebaugh, News Talk 710.
Good afternoon. Good time to get out there on the roadways, but you're going to find some slowing here and there, some stop-and-go traffic, as well as brake lights. Otherwise, we do have a crash East Lincoln Avenue at Chambers. You can expect some curiosity slowing at that location. Northbound I-25 from C-470 to I-225, that's going to take you about 6 minutes. And eastbound 119th from Highway 36 to Highway 287, going to take you 20 minutes. Looks like a 6-minute delay. I'm James Brown with traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
Sunny to partly sunny skies, breezy and mild, 60s and low 70s with brisk and gusty west winds through the rest of the afternoon. Lows tonight near 40 degrees and still breezy. Friday and the weekend, very little happening. We'll be low to mid 70s Friday and sunny. Sunny to partly sunny for the weekend with 70s and low 80s Saturday and Sunday with overnight lows in the 40s. Weather brought to you by Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Now with a 2% option, pay less, keep more. ColoradoFlatFeeRealty.com. Meteorologist Don Day, 710 KNUS.
The fastest way to know what your home would sell for today is from the Ribble Group. Keller Williams DTC. Simply text your address to 800-763-3000. Don't call, just text your address to 800-763-3000.
Our workforce needs work. I'm Holly Robinson Peete. Join me delivering jobs and the Society for Human Resource Management in creating pathways to 1 million jobs for those with intellectual and developmental differences.
To learn more, please visit deliveringjobs.org.
You ever make a change and then think, why didn't I do this years ago? Well, that's how people feel about switching to MediShare for their healthcare, especially now with inflation the way it is. People are very happy with the savings. Most families save about $500 a month when they switch. It's a huge help when prices are going up so fast in so many other areas. And MediShare's customer satisfaction rate is double that of health insurance. It's just a different experience, and people really like that. MediShare is an alternative to health insurance. It's a community of Christians who share each other's healthcare bills, and it's been going strong for over 25 years. It really is the gold standard, the most trusted name in healthcare sharing. Find out why people love it, find out why they rave about the customer service, and find out how good it feels to save some money right now. They're super easy to talk to. Here's the number, 855-94-BIBLE. That's 855-94-BIBLE, 855-94-BIBLE.
This is Ed Morrissey of HotAir.com for Town Hall. It is time to heed the Constitution, Justice Samuel Alito wrote in his purloined Dobbs draft, and return the issue of abortion to the people's elected representatives. Justices only have to look outside their doors to find evidence of Alito's conclusion that Roe warped the constitutional form of self-governance and his wisdom in warning of the consequences of rule by judicial fiat. President Biden, his press secretary Jen Psaki, and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, among others, have either encouraged or refused to discourage angry demonstrations outside the homes of Supreme Court justices. These protests actually violate federal law, as Congress recognized at one time that political lobbying has no place in judicial proceedings, especially when used to intimidate jurists. Biden and Schumer want to force the judiciary into the role of a super legislature. Justice Alito wants to return it to its proper constitutional role. The mob sent by Democrats to intimidate the justices proved the critical need for Alito to prevail. I'm Ed Morrissey.
News Talk 710 KNUS. Listen live on Odyssey. Now, back to Steffan Tubbs. News Talk 710 KNUS.
It was not because of the attorneys. You know that. Chris Holbert, the now former Senate Minority Leader, he is term limited. And you are heading, how's this for an effort, an attempt to pull in Sugartown? And you could go to Sugar Sand, White Sand Beaches where you're moving.
Yes.
I don't want to spill any beans that shouldn't be spilled, but coming up soon, you are leaving Colorado.
Yeah, I have announced my resignation as senator effective midnight, May 31st. I'm not comfortable collecting this whopping salary. It's $3,353.50 a month gross before taxes.
And you're paying about half of that money just driving from Douglas County to the Capitol.
Oh no, I get like $20 a day mileage too. Yeah.
Well, how could you leave that lucrative position? But you're heading out, and we want to be very clear, even though you were in Denver and Decay, that is not the impetus for you. Like, I've had it with this state, because it's still, gosh dang it, it's still there. We just need to do something with it before it gets, even worse?
People have asked me, what am I going to run for in Florida? I'm like, no, I'm just running for Florida. I'm blessed to be married to Diane. We met in 1983, married in 86. I love my wife. And we really enjoy it there. She has family a little south of where we want to settle. And she'd like to be closer to her mom.
Nice.
Her dad passed, but our favorite thing in life is getting up in the morning before dawn, get coffee, and do 5 to 7 miles on the beach. It's just relaxing. I don't want to shovel snow anymore. And we've been down there traveling. It's like, let's move here. We're empty nesters.
Yeah.
My term's up, so let's go have fun.
You could have taken those walks at, say, Chatfield.
Yes.
On the beach.
Or like Wash Park or City Park. There's a lot of beautiful places in Denver.
Let me ask you, as the 22 legislative session is
Yes.
done, I saw this on Colorado Politics, and I don't even know if you were there, but apparently, I don't know if y'all have a little party as the, so to speak, as it's winding down. They were looking for the governor yesterday.
We went to go knock on the governor's door, and it was locked. No kidding. And Representative Tipper and I were like, well, what do we do? And Representative Neville says, well, I got his number. I can call him. So he did. And he's in the dome partying. And maybe he wouldn't want me to say that, but they're having fun. And we told him we're done. And he said, congratulations. And we did great work. And now he knows.
So would he normally come in there in the chamber and say, hey, thanks, everybody?
Well, I was actually on the committee from the Senate to notify him that we were about to adjourn sine die. They let us right in. We went into the governor's office. I've been there many times. And he even actually popped a cork and we poured a little glass of champagne and toasted the end of the session. So I don't know why he wouldn't let the reps in. But I think they probably got down there a little later than we did. They were behind us. And I did see the governor in the rotunda for the annual rubber band ball drop. I don't know if you know about that.
Wow, I don't.
It's a cool little annual ceremony that we have, but
you all are weird down
in the
there,
Senate,
by the way.
Our rolling clerks, they go through and they pull all the bills that we're going to consider that day out of these filing cabinets, and then depending on what part of the calendar they're in, they bundle them in these big rubber bands.
Yeah.
So then we take the rubber bands off, and each caucus has a chair. So it's Jim Smallwood, senator from Douglas County, is our caucus chair. We drop our rubber bands on his desk, or sometimes we shoot our rubber bands at Jim. He collects them. He builds a rubber band ball. And then at the end of the session, the caucus chair gets to drop it out of one of the upper levels of the dome down onto the main floor. And then whoever's rubber band ball bounces higher wins. And we won again.
What do they win?
Pride. Just and the bragging rights to a YouTube video. You can actually go on YouTube and Google Colorado rubber band ball drop, and there's some pretty cool rubber band ball drops.
Let's see if we can pull some gnats.
But I did see the governor down there watching the rubber band ball drop. It's fun.
I'm just kidding. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure we've got weird things here in this building that you'd go, yeah, that's really funny. This is almost the end of the first hour. I have yet to even give a phone number. That's how busy we have been. 303-696-1971. Hello, YouTube. Chris Holbert, please say hello to YouTube. You are on camera in your t-shirt, and I'm in my hat. And you can text the studio via the app, of course. Chris is going to stick around, and when we've got Leader McKean coming up, but I want to ask you some questions about. We talked a little about fentanyl, but this abortion bill,
yes.
And what the governor said less than a week ago on National Public Radio. So stick around. Chris Holbert will join us again coming up in the next hour. We're closing out the 3 o'clock hour right now. Once again, you've got Leader McKean coming up at 4:05. You've got State Representative Mike Lynch at 5:05. Chris Holbert in studio with us. There's a lot to talk about. And later on, how bad is the fentanyl problem in San Francisco? That place is a crap hole anyway. We'll have that. Stay with us. Plenty to come.
Hi, it's Peter Boyles here to remind you to be sure to log on 710knus.com and click on the Peter Boyles Book Club banner and watch this week's video podcast. And when you join the book club, you can see all of my video interviews, get early bird invitations, attend all live events, best-selling writers and authors, and Register to win copies of our featured titles every month. And remember, it's free to sign up at 710knus.com and click the book club banner today. Hi, it's Peter Boyles here for my friend David Ellis in Cherry Creek. Now's the time to get a professional appraisal on all the valuables you have tucked away in your home. You could be sitting on a fortune in cash. David Ellis Jewelers pays top dollar for your diamonds, gold, sterling silver, wedding bands, and Rolex watches. You'll get instant cash on the spot. David offers confidential evaluations on precious metals, coins, silver sets, and estate sale jewelry and antique items. This trusted jeweler has been buying precious metals and antiques in Colorado for decades. No obligation, free appraisals, private and confidential. If you're looking to buy a gift for someone special in your life or yourself, the vast, expansive showroom, David Ellis Jewelers, look for the black awning, the corner of 3rd and Clayton and Cherry Creek. Explore online, davidellisjewelry.com. 6 days a week. Call my friend David Ellis, 303-322-8779, 303-322-8779, online, davidellisjewelry.com. 3rd and Clayton and Cherry Creek. You'll be glad you did.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. That's 800-401-6681.
Tanner Gun Show proudly supports the Second Amendment and the Don't Take My Guns movement. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Crown Plaza in Denver, I-70 in Chambers. You won't find a bigger or better selection of new handguns, hard-to-find used firearms, tons of ammo, AR accessories, stun guns, and more. This is the last gun show in the Denver area until September. Get your guns while you still can at the Tanner Gun Show. Tickets are available at the door, or you can get them online at tannergunshow.com.
News Talk 710, the official station of the 2022 Western Conservative Summit. Get tickets online at 710knus.com.
Good afternoon. Good time to get out there on the roadways, but you're going to find some slowing here and there, some stop and go traffic, as well as brake lights. Otherwise, we do have a crash East Lincoln Avenue at Chambers. You can expect some curiosity slowing at that location. Northbound I-25 from C-470 to I-225. That's going to take you about 6 minutes. And eastbound 119th from Highway 36 to Highway 287, going to take you 20 minutes. Looks like a 6-minute delay. I'm James Brown with traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rocket Mortgage. Get personalized loan options, closing costs, and tax estimates for your new home purchase, all in real time. When you need a mortgage that fits your family and budget, Rocket can.
Denver's local talk leader. News Talk 710 KNUS. The news now.
4 o'clock. Thursday afternoon, a few clouds, breezy, 71 in Denver, going down to a low of 40. The 7-10 5-day forecast coming right up. Our top story, a Denver Bronco has been arrested. KNUS's Lou Brown has more.
Denver Broncos wide receiver Jerry Jeudy was arrested earlier today by deputies in Arapahoe County, according to the sheriff's office. The Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office tweeted that Jeudy was being held at the Arapahoe County Jail for investigation of second-degree criminal tampering with a domestic violence enhancer, and that he was being held without bond. That charge is a Class 2 misdemeanor. Lou Brown, KNUS News.
Evacuations being ordered for parts of northeast Colorado Springs. Firefighters say people living near Ackerman and Summer Grace need to get out immediately because flames are close to homes. Evacuees can go to UC Health Park. Ridgeview Elementary School students were taken to Vista Ridge High, where they can be picked up. Skylark Mobile Home Park has been ordered to evacuate as well because of a separate fire. This update brought to you by Staples Stores. Staples Stores are a new world of possible with innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Explore more at your local Staples stores or stapleconnect.com. NFL schedule release happens tonight. Dow finished down today, 103 points. S&P 500 down 5, NASDAQ up 6. Wake up with George Brockler weekday mornings from 6 to 10 only on Newstalk 710 KNUS, the official station of the 2022 Western Conservative Summit. I'm Roger Criddlebaugh, Newstalk 710.
Fair to partly cloudy skies as we head to the evening and overnight hours. Low down around 40 degrees. Breezy southwest winds. Tomorrow, partly to mostly.
A longtime newsman with an opinion, a proud dad, an American, supporter of our veterans and active duty military. Common sense discussion begins now. This is the Steffan Tubbs Show on News Talk 710 KNUS.
We will talk about that in just a moment. As you heard in the newscast, a Denver Bronco in custody, well, at least arrested. We will have more on that coming up. The arrest of Broncos wide receiver Jerry Jeudy. We'll talk more about that coming up as more information becomes available. And there is a portion of the allegations that has to do with domestic violence. So the Arapahoe County Sheriff Tyler Brown is set to have a press conference coming up at the bottom of the hour. We'll see if we can dip into that live coming out of Arapahoe County. Steffan Tubbs, producer Matt Steinkruger, Roger in the newsroom. We continue on this, well, the first full day of the 2022 legislative session under the Golden Dome, now in the rear view mirror. Our friend of the program, Chris Holbert, State Senate Minority Leader, former, because he's term limited. He's in studio with us, and we want to talk about the fentanyl bill, of course, House Bill 1326. I want to talk about the abortion bill as well, that it's beyond my personal comprehension that there could be people surrounding Colorado Governor Jared Polis as he signs this bill into law, and there's applause. Last week on NPR, we've talked about many times this week, the governor of Colorado basically asked, is Colorado going to be, in so many words, a sanctuary state for abortion? Well, he didn't say no, and he never called it a baby. So fetus. I can't believe it. I don't know if I'll ever be able to process it. But the House Minority Leader is Hugh McKean, and he's kind enough to join us on the program. Leader, thank you so much for the time. And are you have you had a Coors Light to celebrate that it's now in the rearview mirror?
Gosh, I wish I had, but with as tired as we are from working 18-hour days for the last week, I'm afraid I'd just have a sip and take a nap.
Yeah, I bet. Say hi to your friend Chris Holbert.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Well, hello, leader.
Leader.
So he's leaving, and he says, Hugh, that it has nothing to do with, say, fentanyl or the abortion bill. He says he's an empty nester and he's sick of shoveling snow. Do you buy that?
Well, I personally expect as a gift his snow shovel, so I'm going to buy it for exactly that. If he's got a snow blower, he's welcome to drop it off at my house. And I understand you don't even really have to mow the grass in Florida, so that's good.
Yeah, I will be leaving my lawnmower at my house here. So,
for the new owners.
Yes. Yeah.
Did you work that into the deal?
It's a gift. I don't think we've even talked about that part. But,
Leader, I want to ask you, I was saying to Chris in our last hour that, to me, from the outside, you guys are so hyper-focused, obviously, as you have to as elected leaders. To me, from the outside, though, this legislative session was about two big things. And in years past, you could throw in there, it could be marijuana, it could be gun control, it could be, I don't know, gay marriage. But this, to me, was abortion and fentanyl. How do you see it?
Well, I think that's kind of what distilled down on the Democrat side. On the Republican side, we remained very, very true to where we started, which was our goal was to use a Republican lens to find ways to save families money and make Colorado more affordable, to get tough on crime in ways that approach drug abuse and addiction compassionately, but while enforcing our laws, and then to put parents back at the center of their kids' educational decisions. And we stayed very faithful to those things. We put ideas on the table time and again. And the things that we looked at, and fentanyl kind of worked into this, because the Democrats have done so much in the last few years to destroy the state. And now we're seeing the results. Rampant increase in cost to live here because of a lot of government regulation, a lot of businesses leaving the state. You've got crime out of control, which often happens when you get rid of tough penalties for things. And now with education, we have the Colorado Education Association, by and large, treating the state checkbook like its own. So we went in there, we fought hard, and we won a few things.
Let me ask you, and again, Leader Hugh McKean joining us on the news line, and Senate Minority Leader now heading on out. He has served us. And I just, before I forget, Chris, and I know I'll at the end say, thank you, but seriously, you become a friend. But I just want to say that, look, on behalf of your constituents, you're a good man. And I've really, really enjoyed getting to know you. You're always available to talk with. And I hope we can have the same relationship, obviously, going forward with Leader McKean as well. But, you have served this state as a public servant, not making a ton of money. Yeah, you were getting paid, but, it's not a lot. You can't just, that's all you do. You work 120 days. But I just wanted to say that because I truly do mean that, and I hope you take me sincerely.
I do. I thank you, Steffan, and same goes out to Leader McKean. It is a wonderful opportunity. It's such an honor and a privilege to serve and represent constituents at the state capitol. But it is a part-time job. It isn't like Congress. It's $40,000. $242 is the gross salary now. There's no congressional health care or state paid travel, or I get mileage to and from my house, but we don't fly around the world. It's a pretty humble job. And I really encourage people in Colorado to understand that they amended the Constitution, even if a listener happened to not live here then. But the people of Colorado in 1988 converted their state legislature into part-time citizen legislature. And it isn't like Congress. So I really encourage people to get to know their state rep, their state senator. You've had Senator Rhonda Fields on your show.
Yeah, I love her. And I know she's on the other side of the aisle, but she's a wonderful woman.
We fought against the repeal of the death penalty. And when I was the first member of the House back in 2013 to argue against her 15-round mag limit, she was sitting there on the bench. I was the first Republican to the mic, and I choked up. That lady had her son murdered. A hit was placed on him and his girlfriend, fiance at the time. And they were found, or at least I believe his body, maybe both, were found in the district that I represented. It's personal for me. And it's just fascinating. Somebody like Rhonda has been polar opposite of me. And we fought together again on the repeal of the death penalty, and her party was adamant to do it. It's fascinating business. Yeah. And Hugh, I just want to say thank you to you and your team for the incredible amount of work that you put in to slow down the calendar. We negotiated in different ways, but working together. It was a very effective session when we have no power other than our voice.
Yeah.
So,
How
Leader, thank you.
Yeah. How for both of you, and I've got a couple questions I want both of you to answer, but Leader, let me ask you about what Chris just said. I mean, is it tough when, you've got the agenda? Chris was with us at the opening start of the session this year, outlining the agenda, which I thought was very funny because the Democrats pretty much they had the same damn agenda. But is it tough when at the end of the day, look, you don't have the votes?
Well, that's exactly it. And to the minority leader's point, what we have is our voice, and what we have is time. And so we don't have the votes. But you're right. At the beginning of session, actually, it was one of Senator Holbert's staff who said, "God, it feels like they copied our homework." and and that's exactly what it was. But I'll tell you, this year proves something, I think, to both Leader Holbert and myself, that when we put our energy and our staff and our members together in one mission, we actually accomplish a lot. And what we did was we made the party in power. And I want the people of Colorado to remember that there is one party in control of your state right now at a time of high costs and rampant crime and kids not learning what they should. There is one party in control. And what we did was we took our voices and we took a lot of ideas and we put them on the table, not to slow things down, but to say there's another better way to do these things. But there was not a speck, not a photon of sunlight between Leader Holbert and myself. We and I came into this session, the 73rd General Session, and we agreed that we are absolutely on the same mission. And to me, that's something you don't see that often. I'm going to take one tiny second here to say, Leader, it has been my greatest honor to get to do this with you and to get to lead a caucus next to you leading a caucus and truly to get to watch how you got things done, even though you didn't have the votes. And for a little farm kid from Missouri like me, I got to learn a tremendous amount about how to treat people, how to talk to people, how to show respect for people who are not showing you respect, and then how to use that to actually build on and do good for the citizens. You are an amazing leader, and I appreciate you tremendously.
Thank you, Leader McKean. I just want to be humble and say everything I learned from Steffan Tubbs.
Now, see, he used it right there, Hugh. He used humor to diffuse an emotional situation. I hope you don't do that at home, or maybe he does. We are really. I'm thrilled to and Hugh, I want you on the program a lot, whether it's in session or not. But I believe this is the first time you've been on the program, and it's probably our bad for having it wait so long. But House Minority Leader Hugh McKean on the news line, and our good friend Chris Holbert, who is moving on to greener pastures down in Florida after he is term limited. He, of course, was the Senate Minority Leader. I want to ask you both a question. Probably could phrase it a little differently, but my mind works like this. On a scale of 1 to 10, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being Chris Holbert, the Republicans, Hugh McKean, you get your wish that 12 or 1326, it is as tough on these fentanyl dealers and users and those who possess it. You would be at a 10, and 0 being, absolutely nothing is done. When all is said and done, on a scale of 1 to 10, Leader, we'll start with you, Leader McKean. Where did we fall to you on your scale of 1 to 10? Where are we?
I'll probably get the scale wrong, but I think we accomplished a lot. I think that the bill did a lot to get closer to where we need to be. And so maybe a 6, or maybe that's a 4. I don't know. But
no, yeah, it'd be a 6.
Basically, I think it moved the direction we need to. What I said before, I think, is important, and that is that we never lose sight of the compassion that we ought to have as humans for each other. And there are people who are in desperate circumstances when it comes to drugs. And so I would love to see, and I do love to see, the things that are in this bill that help them out. What the challenge to me is that that it seems like there's a lot of attention spent on helping people who are addicted to drugs get off drugs, and then not a lot of attention spent on the people who are breaking the law habitually to do drugs that are illegal. And I think that there's a dichotomy there. And when we don't enforce laws strictly enough, often we get more of the behavior we don't want. And so I think that we should have, and I voted against the bill on that basis, that we really should have come down a little tougher on what the amounts are, or if not the amounts, what gets someone's attention. And often that's that felony charge that is very seldom prosecuted, but can be charged as a way of saying, wake up, this is big stuff, and you're either going to need to figure out how to get into treatment and get off this stuff, or you're going to have to help us find the people who are distributing this poison.
Amen. And Chris, what would you say that scale of 1 to 10?
Yeah, I think I've got your scale correct. So I would agree with the 4, a little less than half. I did vote yes on the bill. It's better than where we were. But if Leader McKean and I could have crafted the bill on our own and given it a 10, didn't get close to that.
Right.
And again, the conference committee, the final vote, putting back in the ability of the person who is arrested, facing charges, to say, I didn't know. And we had a former drug addict testify for the bill in committee, who said, if you think that the paraphrasing, but the message was, if you think that the drug addicts in Denver surrounding the Capitol don't already know what you're discussing, don't already know that all they have to say is, I didn't know.
Exactly.
You're wrong. They know. They talk to each other
Right.
about these things. So
Right.
it's just really frustrating, but better than where we were, but not something to really trumpet with full throat.
Well, I don't think
hooray.
I don't think
No.
either of you can say, it was a complete and total victory. This
No,
from
no.
yesterday, State Senator Bob Gardner on the floor of the Senate.
At the end of the day, the effect will be the same. Law enforcement will need to substantiate through the investigation that the person knew they had fentanyl, or else the charge is just simply going to become a misdemeanor. You are back to the way that this bill came to us originally from the House. I appreciate the efforts of my colleague. I appreciate the work on this bill. But
She's actually become
the language is lawyer language to make it impractical to pursue these cases as felonies.
I mean, clearly, State Senator Bob Gardner is not going to give it anywhere close to a 10.
No.
And then I want to, and then we'll wrap up. And Leader McKean, we'll certainly have you on again. This, your fellow Republican State Representative Terry Carver.
22 DAs, right? And there are different views. But I managed to get on the phone with 3 that I knew had different positions on this bill. Showed them the language and asked them the question: can you effectively prosecute felony possession of 1 to 4 grams with this language? And the answer universally of those 3, now that's just 3 out of the 22 DAs, but I specifically picked 3 that I knew had different positions on this bill. All 3 of them said no.
Sorry, that ain't good, friends. That is not good. I want to wrap up on that. And as we wrap up with Leader McKean and Chris, I know can stick around one more segment. Right now, keep in mind, the fact that you could possibly have had 4 grams of fentanyl and it would be considered a misdemeanor, or anything under 4, strictly blows my mind. Now, I guess 1 gram, you can only kill 500 people. So we'll continue to follow that. I want to wrap up with Leader McKean. Let me ask you about the abortion bill that is signed. I cannot believe that anyone would champion this, where at 8 months, 3rd trimester, oh, you don't want your baby? Let's just kill it. Your thoughts, please.
Well, I think that the sad fact is that this did not change law in Colorado. It codified law, and so codified practice. This is what Colorado has become known for in places, that that you could abort a child up until that late date. And what really, I've been trying to find a way to talk about this that doesn't lose people in the detail, but what bothers me so much is they took away the rights of an individual at any gestational age. A lot of us think that life begins at conception and that life needs to be protected. A lot of people may think it's somewhere in the middle, and there are even people who think that a baby isn't a baby until they're born and breathe air for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
But what this bill did was say that individual, wherever they are in that stage, has no rights whatsoever. And I think that the framers of our Constitution would weep at the idea that a state legislature would say in law that individual does not have a right to their life, to their independence, and their ability to be a person. Yeah. And that, to me, is the inhuman part of this.
Yeah. You have been wonderful, Leader. We'll have you hopefully on again. I got your digits now, so I'll text you. And you better not. I hear you're a funny guy, so you better return the text. And we'd love to have you on. I'll give you the final, good. Not literally, but you can at least audio wise, you can kiss Holbert goodbye here and give you the final word. Go ahead.
Well, I kiss him on the cheek just routinely, but. I'll just tell you this, Leader Holbert. Now I can call you Chris because, you're out the door. But I've known a lot of people in this business. I've known a lot of politicians, and I've known a lot of public servants. And you are the absolute best of that other category. You are a servant to the people of the state and to your district. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And I might be a funny guy, but I'm choking up now.
I hear you. That's awesome. Response?
Thank you, my friend. I just wish you the best in your reelection, and if you're the Speaker of the House next January, I'll be there to see it.
Leader,
that'd be wonderful.
Hugh, thank you so much, and for you and your public service as well. And we certainly will be in touch, and anything we can do to try to bring some common sense and more conservatives to the Colorado Capitol, we'll certainly be there by your side trying to get that done.
You're a good man. Thank you, Steffan.
You bet. Thank you. Leader Hugh McKean. Chris, you're good for one more segment?
Sure.
All right.
Happy to.
We will be back, and I want to get Chris's take on what we just talked about at the end. And a big thanks to the Colorado Republicans. Have I ever said this on this program? Hold on. I don't think I've ever said this. The communications people, Sage, got me in touch with several people, and I don't know if y'all are listening, but I just want you to know that the communication and the cooperation today via text, timely. We got Leader McKean on, and Chris, is a text away, but I appreciate him coming down into studio. But to the Colorado Republicans, I bag on you all the time, not necessarily these individuals, but today you all made this happen. So a great deal of thanks to you. When we come back, we will talk about and get Chris Holbert's take on, again, the celebration of pen to paper. I don't get it. I don't know how, frankly, they can look themselves in the eye. We also may be joined by our friend of the program, Maisha Fields. She's State Senator Rhonda Fields' daughter. She was on with us either last year or the year before. She's going to talk a little bit about fentanyl. If she can give us a call, Maisha, I don't know if you're listening now, but this would be a good time to give us a ring. And friends, if you've got in our last segment with Chris Holbert, if you maybe are a constituent, give us a call, 303-696-1971. Great thanks again to the Colorado Republican communications staff, as well as Leader Hugh McKean. We'll be back with Chris Holbert. Let's get some updated traffic and weather information now on 710 KNUS.
Good afternoon. Good time to get out there on the roadways, but you're going to find some slowing here and there, some stop and go traffic, as well as brake lights. Otherwise, we do have a crash East Lincoln Avenue at Chambers. You can expect some curiosity slowing at that location. Northbound I-25 from C-470 to I-225. That's going to take you about 6 minutes. And eastbound 119th from Highway 36 to Highway 287, going to take you 20 minutes. Looks like a 6-minute delay. I'm James Brown with traffic.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag. Wendy's Biggie Bag is just $5. Get your choice of a double stack junior bacon cheeseburger or crispy chicken BLT plus 4-piece nugs, small fries, and a small drink, all for $5. U.S. price and participation may vary.
Charlie Kirk explains the leaked Supreme Court documents.
It simply means that states will be able to determine their own abortion laws. States will be able to say that if they want to outlaw abortion, then so be it. It's less about abortion and it's more about the Constitution. That's a very important thing, where the left, they believe that abortion, for whatever reason, is some sort of constitutional right. It isn't.
The Charlie Kirk Show, weekdays at 10, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on News Talk 710 KNUS.
You ever make a change and then think, why didn't I do this years ago? Well, that's how people feel about switching to Medishare for their health care, especially now with inflation the way it is. People are very happy with the savings. Most families save about $500 a month when they switch. It's a huge help when prices are going up so fast in so many other areas. And Medishare's customer satisfaction rate is double that of health insurance. It's just a different experience, and people really like that. Medishare is an alternative to health insurance. It's a community of Christians who share each other's healthcare bills, and it's been going strong for over 25 years. It really is the gold standard, the most trusted name in healthcare sharing. Find out why people love it, find out why they rave about the customer service, and find out how good it feels to save some money right now. They're super easy to talk to. Here's the number, 855-94-BIBLE. That's 855-94-BIBLE, 855-94-BIBLE.
Dr. Tim Watt here with Synergenics Denver. Our goal is better health for you. Aging doesn't have to be hard. Getting older can be the best and most rewarding time of your entire life. At Synergenics, we use advanced testing and diagnostics to help uncover how to be a healthier you. The key to health isn't treating symptom after symptom. It's finding out why those symptoms are happening and then stopping them for good. Your quality of life is directly linked to your specific risk factors. Our program is dedicated to keeping those factors as low as possible while increasing your energy, your performance, and your overall well-being. We start with comprehensive testing, followed by prescribing precision medicines that address your specific health needs. We create a program designed specifically for you to help you focus, become stronger, and feel in control of your life again. Call Synergenics today. Our number is 720-387-3681, or visit our website at denver.synergenics.com. That's denver.synergenics.com.
Perfect air with a personal touch. Only Pastor Camp Heating and AC Inc. can give you authentic Lennox quality and service. They're the people you know and trust right here in our community. And for a limited time, they're offering up to $1,000 in rebates, or make no payments for 6 months when you finance a new Lennox system for as little as $132 a month. To get quality Lennox equipment with trusted service provided by Pastor Camp Heating and AC Inc., call 303-777-1234 today, or visit them online at pastorcamp.com. Conditions apply. See dealer for details.
It's easy and profitable to be kind to others when you enter the Kindness Challenge. Each day for 30 days, we'll post a new act of kindness that you can do for others. On June 1st, you could win $5,000, and a deserving organization will also receive $5,000 in your name. You can make a difference in others' lives when you enter the Kindness Challenge.
The Kindness Challenge is brought to you in part by The Garage in Inglewood and Parker, home of the KNUS $99 oil change.
Parents are scrambling to find baby formula. The latest in our next news update coming up right here on News Talk 710.
Now, back to Steffan Tubbs, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Is completed. And if you are just joining us, our friend of the program, he sat in this chair for me and others, Chris Holbert, who is just a genuine good man, a public servant, term limited, and he and his lovely wife, did you say 39 years of marriage?
Been together 39 in September, married 36 in September.
First of all, congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that. But you're in studio with us. We've got one more segment with you. We talked with Leader McKean about, and both of you, about this fentanyl bill, House Bill 1326.
Yes.
We ended with Hugh last segment talking about let's just call it an abortion bill, as he said, codifying it. They tried to do it in the United States Senate, as you know, yesterday. They didn't get 60 votes, and much to the chagrin of Democrats, and of course the queen of the Senate, which would be the border czar, Kamala Harris. But how do you view what was signed? And again, the claps and the applause, and I don't get it. Your take?
Brutal. I described going into that debate that it was the hardest bill, the toughest bill that I've had to debate for or against in 12 years.
Ever.
And I've seen thousands of them. We have about 600 bills a year, 12 years. That's a lot. But gun control, same-day voter registration, or we called it same-day voter fraud back then in 2013, all-mail ballot voting, nothing comes close to this topic. And my colleagues across the aisle, the 20 Democrats, were unblinking. It passed 20 yes, 15 no, and there's 20 Democrats and there's 15 Republicans, and there wasn't anything across party lines on that one. And they... I don't understand. I ask questions. For instance, I have the honor to have met Gianna Jessen, an abortion survivor. And I asked, when did Gianna, in your mind, colleagues, when did she become a human being? Was it when the saline was injected, when she started to feel that pain? Was it when she was, came out of the womb, when she hit the stainless steel table? Was it when she took her first breath? When did she become a human in your mind? And, there's no requirement that anyone answer such questions. And of course they didn't, but it's hard for me to understand who people I can sometimes find agreement with that we're just polar opposite on that issue, and pride in what they've done.
Yeah.
I
think you know what? It's not that I don't want to quote unquote waste airtime, but we could be here until 2 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah.
You and I talking about this, and none of it matters in the end here. And I think you know what I mean. I think let's just, you and I, as we of course agree on this issue, that we are both stupefied, and I know a lot of our listeners are as well. You are a guy that is an expert in, no, you are. Yeah. An expert in the Colorado State Constitution. You have talked about it when you filled in on this radio station. You and I have talked about it off the air. We've talked about it off camera, on camera, for your portion of Denver and Decay, et cetera.
Yeah.
I don't know if you consider yourself a constitutionalist, but let's look at it from a national perspective. You don't even know this question is coming, but I want to get your opinion. Last week, there was something that came out of the United States Supreme Court that I still today, speaking of stupefied, of all of the institutions, I thought, well, you know what? At least there's the Supreme Court. What do you think about how I've labeled it? And of course, everybody has the leak.
Well, concerning, troubling. If there's one branch of our federal government where such things haven't really happened, I think it would be the judicial branch, right, and the U.S. Supreme Court at the top of that. I've heard conversations here on your show and others that speculation of, did it come from that justice?
Do you think it was strategic? I mean, I know there's no way to prove it. It's just an opinion.
My opinion is that it's probably from an abortion rights supporter, and somehow got that copy, and the risk was worth the reward.
Yeah, well, I wonder, I'd say if it was a clerk, I wonder if that person will ever be outed. I think that's kind of an open-ended question, because I could see them trying to protect the person, because if that name came out,
yeah. And I guess it's politically fascinating to talk about and wonder and see how it might work out. But it's the life of the unborn, the lives of millions of unborn that are a greater concern for me. And I just I pray that people have their hearts and minds open to that reality. A lot of people consider it a choice, but there's two lives at play there. And my position has been, if it puts the mother's life at risk, do everything possible to save both.
Yeah. State Minority Leader in the Senate is Chris Holbert, and of course now he's moving on. And as we discussed a little bit last hour, that he's moving on to Florida, and he's not. I hate this state. I'm getting out of here.
Nope.
I can't stand it. That's not it. One more question on, do you think with this Mississippi case, and we'll get the ruling expected next month, do you anticipate Roe v. Wade being overturned?
I have to put some credibility in the leak. It seems like there are justices headed in that direction. I don't know if we really have an insight on whether that's a majority opinion or not. It will certainly be culture changing.
Yeah.
My adult life, that's been
well, nobody's got to worry about a damn thing here in Colorado, right?
No,
and I don't understand, Chris, maybe you can help me. Last week, I think it was last Wednesday, right outside the building, the Colorado State Capitol, they're protesting. What the hell were they protesting?
I don't know. It's
why here?
Well, yeah, you understand. And I get emails. Do everything you can to uphold Roe v. Wade. I don't have any sway with the U.S. Supreme Court. It's frustrating. I enjoy teaching and explaining, helping people understand what's true, especially when it comes to the legislative branch of government. But we saw that with the George Floyd protests, the graffiti and the destruction at the state capitol. No one who was involved in George Floyd, that matter, works there. And graffiti against President Trump, he doesn't work there either. And that building is so precious. The people of Colorado built it. I've learned before taxation. And it's ours, and just go down and see it and understand.
Do you remember? And I know you do. Remember when we filmed for Denver and Decay, and you and I walking around? There were, I won't say as many broken windows as intact windows, but that's only because probably they were bad shots
on the ground floor.
On the ground floor, though. I mean, well, we've been over that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about, I guess, as we kind of wrap up in your swan song, what has been for you the most, say, gratifying, whether it was a particular bill that you got through or, just public serving like you have? What has been the most gratifying part of your 12 years?
Try to hold it together. The passage of Jack's Law. I was a no vote when the question came up for medical marijuana amending our state constitution. We didn't legalize it. The people who voted for that constitutionalized medical marijuana. And then later the same thing happened. A majority of voters voted to constitutionalize recreational marijuana.
I got to interrupt you. Can you stay one more segment?
Sure.
Okay.
For you.
I know you will. Listen, we mentioned the Broncos, Jerry Jeudy arrested Tyler Brown at the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office. He is the sheriff. I apologize for interrupting Chris, but this is going on live. Let's take it.
Mr. Jeudy does have a child with the female victim in this case. And that is why the domestic violence statute was added. And that's why we're holding this press conference today, is to clear a couple of those questions up. There was, again, no physical contact between Mr. Jeudy and the female party in this specific case. So I want to make sure that we clear that up. Mr. Jeudy is presumed innocent until proven guilty. He does have a hold at the Arapahoe County Detention Facility today, and he will be seen tomorrow in county court at approximately 8:30 tomorrow morning. We do not have the specifics on which division that case will be heard in, but that is how that initially goes. If you are accused of domestic violence You have to be booked into our facility by a certain time of the day. And when this case was completed and the probable cause statement was completed, it was past that deadline. So Mr. Judy will see a judge tomorrow morning, and we'll provide more information as that becomes available through our public information office. We can also get you specific copies of the revised statutes when it pertains to second-degree criminal tampering and the domestic violence statute here in the state of Colorado. Any questions?
How old is the child?
I would have to get that information to you. I believe it's
1 month old.
It's 1 month old. The child is 1 month old.
Was he taken into custody without incident?
He was taken into custody without incident. He was cooperative on scene and was cooperative with the deputies. He'd never identified himself except by name and date of birth.
Can you confirm whether or not the piece of property was a cell phone?
There was an accusation of a cell phone, but that was not the specific piece of property that was mentioned in this probable cause statement.
Are you going to be releasing the probable cause statement?
Once it's reviewed by the judge, you'll be able to get a copy of that tomorrow with the court clerk.
When and how did you guys contact the Broncos, if at all, the organization?
So we contacted them once their PC was in place and Mr. Judy was being booked into the county facility just to advise them.
Is that a normal sequence of events to hold the probable cause until the judge looks at it, or because it seems
Listening live to Arapahoe County Sheriff Tyler Brown, he is talking about the arrest earlier today of Broncos wide receiver Jerry Jeudy, arrested in Arapahoe County. I'll give you from the Arapahoe Sheriff's Twitter account. Quote, he's being held at the Arapahoe County Jail on charges of second-degree criminal tampering with a domestic violence enhancer, which is a misdemeanor. He's on a no bond hold. He is innocent until proven guilty, close quote. You heard the sheriff there talking about there was no physical contact. What is just, I guess, ironic is now, because of the time of day, Jerry Jeudy he could not appear in front of a judge today. He will stay a night in jail. And as the sheriff said, tomorrow morning at 8:30, will make his initial court appearance. Maybe it's just me, but it's the irony of how close this press conference and the Arapahoe County Jail is to Dove Valley. It is, I mean, half a mile at the absolute most. But look, Lord, don't I know it. Sometimes things aren't always as they seem, but again, in custody, and it is trending on social media right now. Broncos wide receiver Jerry Jeudy, sounds like there's a 1 month old involved, possibly a cell phone. We'll continue to follow that story again out of Arapahoe County. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Barbara, if you're still on hold and be patient, you can get your question to the minority leader who is leaving us, but he'll always be in our hearts. And I'm only half joking because this guy is a very good man. State Senator Chris Holbert will wrap up the 4 o'clock hour with us. Hope you'll stick around. This is 710 KNUS.
KNUS Denver, a Salem Media Group station. Now, news, traffic, weather, and the latest on Ukraine.
A few clouds, windy, 70 degrees in Denver, going down to a low of 40 degrees. The 710 5-day forecast coming up. Our top story, according to the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office, Denver Bronco wide receiver Jerry Jeudy has been arrested. The office confirmed he was arrested around noon today for second-degree criminal tampering with a domestic violence enhancer. They tweeted the charge is a misdemeanor. He's on a no-bond hold, scheduled to be in court 9:30 Friday morning. Parents scrambling to find whatever baby formula is available amid this nationwide shortage.
It's like a rat race, you know? It's like you have to rush to Target as soon as they open to see if there's anything on the shelves, and, there's nothing.
President Biden is using every tool available to the government to alleviate the shortage of baby formula in the U.S., so said White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki. A new institute to develop more advanced cell and gene therapies coming to the University of Colorado Anschutz Medical Campus, thanks to a historic financial commitment by the Gates Frontiers Fund. The Gates Institute will be a partnership between CU Anschutz and the fund. Investments from the two partners are expected to grow to $200 million in the next 5 years. Today is National Fibromyalgia Awareness Day. The NFL schedule release happens tonight. This update brought to you by Indeed.com. Spring into spring hiring with Indeed, with powerful hiring platforms making it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit. The Dow finished down today, 103 points. Wake up with George Brockler weekday mornings from 6 to 10 only on Newstalk 710 KNUS, the official station of the 2022 Western Conservative Summit. I'm Roger Kurtelbaugh.
Good afternoon. Good time to get out there on the roadways, but you're going to find some slowing here and there, some stop-and-go traffic, as well as brake lights. Otherwise, we do have a crash east Lincoln Avenue at Chambers. You can expect some curiosity slowing at that location. Northbound I-25 from C-470 to I-225, that's going to take you about 6 minutes. And eastbound 119th from Highway 36 to Highway 287, going to take you 20 minutes. Looks like a 6-minute delay. I'm James Brown with traffic.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag. Wendy's Biggie Bag is just $5. Get your choice of a double stack junior bacon cheeseburger or crispy chicken BLT plus 4-piece nugs, small fries, and a small drink, all for $5. U.S. price of participation may vary.
Fair to partly cloudy skies as we head to the evening and overnight hours. Low down around 40 degrees. Breezy southwest winds. Tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny. Low to mid-70s on your Friday. Not much going on for the weekend. In fact, it'll be a real nice weekend. Highs will be 70s and low 80s Saturday and Sunday. Sunny to partly sunny. Nights 40s. Weather brought to you by Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Now with a 2% option. Pay less, keep more. ColoradoFlatFeeRealty.com. I'm meteorologist Don Day on 710 KNUS.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur with words from another happy customer.
Atrius Software Accounting is amazing. I was able to see where's all my expenses going, where's the revenue, which month had more revenue. I definitely recommend it to you guys who are a small business and need to record your expenses. And they just make it so easy. I was like, wow, affordable and easy to use. I have recommended it to colleagues.
Easy to learn, easy to use. Small business software tailored just for you.
Visit us at patriotsoftware.com. That's patriotsoftware.com.
With patriotsoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Colorado Flat Fee Realty.
In today's active real estate market, don't pay too much to sell your house. Colorado Flat Fee Realty is now offering a 2% option. If you were selling a $500,000 house, the agent typically charges you 6%. That's $30,000 for just a few days of work. Colorado Flat Fee Realty has a much better way. On that same $500,000 sale, you would save thousands with Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Now with a 2% option, why would you list your house with anyone else? Pay less, keep more. Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Call 303-300-9660 to find out more. 303-300-9660 or visit ColoradoFlatFeeRealty.com. Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Now with a 2% option. Pay less, keep more. ColoradoFlatFeeRealty.com.
Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Pay less, keep more, save thousands.
Personalized, functional, beautiful. Kitchens, the centerpiece of your home, a place to gather and eat, and we all want one we can enjoy. Your kitchen remodel can bring all the latest designs, colors, and textures to life, from brilliant countertop and backsplash installations to cabinets in the style and function that fit you best. Cabinetry by Kales is known for extraordinary kitchen design, and you'll love working with their expert designers who can take your ideas and tastes and bring them to life. Cabinetry by Kales Kitchen and Bath carries multiple lines of cabinetry and countertops, plus hardware selections and a variety of styles and price ranges for the kitchen, bathroom, or other cabinet projects. Get started at cabinetrybyKales.com or in the showroom located off Dransfeld in Parker. You'll find inspiration and understand the process start to finish. Why wait another moment? Your kitchen refresh, upgrade, or complete remodel awaits at Cabinetry by Kales Kitchen and Bath. CabinetryByKales.com. Personalized, functional, beautiful.
This is George Brockler for Littleton Jewelry. I don't know about you, but a local jeweler I can trust is a little thing that's actually a big thing. Whether it's a watch repair, diamond upgrade, or something else, anything else, we're usually talking about a piece of jewelry that has as much sentimental value as it does monetary value. Littleton Jewelry are my team. I trust for everything from repairs to major purchases. Jesse and his team will take great care of you. Littleton Jewelry is located on Santa Fe, just south of Hudson Gardens. Look for the jewelry repair sign. Visit littletonfinejewelry.com.
News Talk 710 KNUS. Listen live on Odyssey. Now, back to Steffan Tubbs. News Talk 710 KNUS.
Is here. And Barbara, you've got about, unfortunately, and I appreciate your patience, but we're running out of time. 30 seconds or so. Your question for Chris Holbert.
Okay. Hi. Congratulations, Chris. Enjoy Florida.
Thank you.
Did any Colorado legislator ever try to show a video of an abortion on the floor of either house to make it a reality and not just a concept?
Thank you, Barbara. Can they do that? Can you do that?
Yeah, in the House, it wouldn't be allowed unless the Speaker or the Chair authorized it. It's important to understand legislative rules. They're different. The Constitution, state constitution, allows each chamber to adopt its own rules. We can use like signboards. Sometimes we'll have an easel and
a chart, maybe like a Ross Perot chart,
but not so much video. That might be something that comes in the future. We've had so much remote participation and members participating via video that maybe we can go there, but probably not something that would be allowed on the Senate floor or the House floor.
They wouldn't have to sit there and watch it.
They would not. They can leave,
and they
do.
Probably did. Would. I interrupted you because of the breaking news out of Arapahoe County. We'll have more coming up at the top of the hour. Broncos wide receiver Jerry Jeudy arrested today and will be kept overnight at the facility there in Arapahoe County at the jail until court appearance tomorrow. More at the top of the hour. I was asking you, and we've sadly only got about 3 minutes, but something that you were most proud of, and you serve this great state with great pride and energy and a lot of hard work for 12 years.
So I opposed medical marijuana when it was on the ballot to amend the Constitution. And same with recreational marijuana. That was also a constitutional amendment, not just legalization. But in my 12 years in the legislature, I have been incredibly blessed to get to know Ben One, son of Brad and Amber One and Highlands Ranch constituents. I got to know Jack Split, got to speak at his funeral. I have met people, especially kids, who have try to hold it together, who have had their lives changed. They have experienced life-changing, symptom-curing results through the use of cannabis-based medicine. And cannabis-based medicine may or may not have activated THC. Some might get you high, others don't. But the cannabis plant is fascinating. I didn't believe that when I went to the legislature, and coming out, I admit publicly I was wrong. If you don't know that science, if you don't understand 144 cannabinoids in cannabis plants, please take time to learn. It's just been incredible to meet people. There was a lady at a very wealthy, to-do, hoity-toity event in Douglas County. It came over and she looked me in the eye and said, "Did you sponsor that bill that allows kids to have, cannabis medicine, marijuana medicine at schools?" And I said, yes, ma'am. And I thought she was going to tear into me, and a tear came down her cheek and said, a year ago I was in my hospital bed. I was dying. My hair had fallen out. Wow. I told my husband, "Get me out of here." Turned to cannabis based medicine, not just sitting around smoking pot. Yep. You can see my hair grew back. My cancer went in remission, and she was bawling and gave me a big hug. And it's just been the most rewarding thing. And it's because I was wrong. I did not know that. I didn't believe it. And now I know I was wrong.
However, real quick, just a yes or no, because I want to give you a final point and thought. Would this state, do you think right now, be better if marijuana was not legalized?
Yes. So
do I. Will you stay in touch?
Yes, sir.
Please.
Yeah.
You're not going to change your phone number. I can still text you.
No. I've made this decision because I'm not comfortable with the listeners, the
And you're,
taxpayers of Colorado.
yeah, you're actually
paying
saving
me
some
a
money.
salary while I'm shopping, or out interviewing for a job in a different state. So I don't have any power or authority. There's no more bills. You would continue to pay me until January 9th at 10 a.m. And I'm asking you, boss, can you just not pay me and I'll ride off into the sunset?
See, that is the type of man you are.
Love you, brother.
I love you too. You're a Colorado Avalanche fan. Will they win the Stanley Cup?
Absolutely. And I hope it's a Leaves Avs. I was a Maple Leaf
this is for
fan
you.
earlier. I love him.
This is for you. Holbert, it's your swan song. Love you, brother. Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
so
you for what you've done for this state. Chris
You're
Holbert,
welcome. Thank
everybody. He is one of the good ones and a big Avs fan.
With Hugh McKean, the minority leader for the House, and find out what did or did not happen in that circus we call the legislature. Stay tuned. George Brockler Show, 710 KNUS.
George Brockler, tomorrow morning from 6 to 10 on News Talk 710 KNUS.
If you think the only job at a radio station is behind a microphone, you're missing some great opportunities. Salem Media Group has positions in many areas, including broadcast and digital advertising sales, business administration, and engineering. Find out more about career opportunities by visiting the Colorado Broadcasters Virtual Job Fair beginning May 9th through the 13th at broadcastersvirtualjobfair.com. This job fair will provide information about jobs available in the broadcast industry as well as specific positions here at Salem, Denver. You'll have the opportunity to apply for great jobs online and begin your career in Colorado's exciting media industry. Minorities and women are strongly encouraged to visit us. Cyberspace is never limited, so stop by the Colorado Broadcasters Job Fair sponsored by Salem Media of Colorado, Inc. at broadcastersvirtualjobfair.com.
Tanner Gun Show proudly supports the Second Amendment and the Don't Take My Guns movement. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Crown Plaza in Denver, I-70 and Chambers. You won't find a bigger or better selection of new handguns, hard-to-find used firearms, tons of ammo, AR accessories, stun guns, and more. This is the last gun show in the Denver area until September. Get your guns while you still can at the Tanner Gun Show. Tickets are available at the door, or you can get them online at tannergunshow.com.
Hi, I'm Gabe Walker from Alpine Planning Group. Wealth accumulation is never simple, but it's the distribution phase where we believe clients absolutely need a partner to navigate market cycles, assist with changes, and ensure retirement portfolios will last. At Alpine Planning Group, we specialize in wealth management. We're local, we're personal, and we customize every plan. If you'd like to meet or learn more, give us a call at 303-843-0918. Have a plan, have a partner, call Alpine Planning Group today.
All your drywall projects are satisfaction guaranteed with the team at 123drywall.com. Drywall Finishing. They're the experts with decades of experience and satisfied customers. The quality work they do over a handyman can make a huge difference. From the small fixes to big projects like custom home finishings and remodels, this is the team to trust. Give Kelly a call. Set up your free estimate. 303-988-1709. That's 303-988-1709 or 123drywall.com and tell them Steffan sent you.
KNUS Denver, a Salem Media Group station. News Talk 710, the official station of the 2022 Western Conservative Summit. Get tickets online at 710knus.com.
Good afternoon. Good time to get out there on the roadways, but you're going to find some slowing here and there, some stop and go traffic, as well as brake lights. Otherwise, we do have a crash East Lincoln Avenue at Chambers. You can expect some curiosity slowing at that location. Northbound I-25 from C-470 to I-225, that's going to take you about 6 minutes. And eastbound 119th from Highway 36 to Highway 287, going to take you 20 minutes. Looks like a 6-minute delay. I'm James Brown with traffic.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag. Wendy's Biggie Bag is just $5. Get your choice of a double stack junior bacon cheeseburger or crispy chicken BLT plus 4-piece nugs, small fries, and a small drink, all for $5. U.S. price of participation may vary.
Denver's local talk leader. News Talk 710 KNUS. The news now.
5 o'clock, a few clouds, windy, 70 degrees in Denver. We're going down to a low of 40 tonight. The 710 5-day forecast coming up. Our top story, the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office confirmed Jerry Judy, Broncos receiver, was arrested around noon today, second-degree criminal tampering with a domestic violence enhancer. He was arrested this afternoon, and the sheriff's office said at a press conference not too long ago, Sheriff Tyler Brown said the Judy incident involved the mother of his 1-month-old daughter. Thus, the domestic violence charge. No physical contact was made. Charge of criminal tampering stemmed from removal of property. He is on a no bond hold, and a 9:30 a.m. Friday court date is scheduled. A suspect is in custody following an armed carjacking that led to an officer-involved shooting this morning in Boulder County. The carjacking happened in Broomfield around 6, and then an hour later, police spotted the suspect in Boulder. The suspect pulled a gun. Police fired their weapons. Neither the suspect nor any officers were injured. This update brought to you by Staples Stores. Staples Stores are a new world of possible with innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Explore more at your local Staples stores or staplesconnect.com. Colorado Avalanche will play the winner of the Blues Wild Series. Game 6 tonight. Wake up with George Brockler, weekday mornings from 6 to 10, only on News Talk 710, KNUS, the official station of the 2022 Western Conservative Summit.
Fair to partly cloudy skies as we head to the evening and overnight hours. Low down around 40 degrees. Breezy southwest winds. Tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny. Low to mid-70s on your Friday. Not much going on for the weekend. In fact, it'll be a real nice weekend. Highs will be 70s and low 80s Saturday and Sunday. Sunny to partly sunny. Nights 40s. Weather brought to you by Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Now with a 2% option. Pay less, keep more. ColoradoFlatFeeRealty.com. I'm meteorologist Don Day on 710 KNUS.
Portions of a longtime newsman with an opinion, a proud dad, an American, supporter of our veterans and active duty military. Common sense discussion begins now. This is the Steffan Tubbs Show on News Talk 710 KNUS.
Straight ahead. If you're just joining us, last hour, terrific. Thank you again to House Minority Leader Hugh McKean for joining us, our good friend of the program for, about 90 minutes. The outgoing, adios, don't let the door hit you, Chris Holbert. I just think the world of him. He's a great man. He's just knowledgeable, and we will miss him around here as he is moving for family reasons to Florida, and we wish Chris all of the best, and just a good friend of the program, and look forward to keeping in touch with him. Coming up later this hour and up until 7 o'clock, a couple of stories we will definitely get into. We have talked so much, as you know, about fentanyl. Leaders like Mike Lynch, not necessarily a leader, but an elected official, a leader in this state. Mike Lynch, the representative, will be joining us momentarily. Fentanyl is such a huge issue, and I stumbled upon a recent report on San Francisco. Now, what have I always told you? Colorado, so many different ways, shapes, and forms can be considered California's little brother. Well, this story about fentanyl and on the streets of San Francisco, we see the problem here, and it's bad enough. Is this BBC report that we'll play for you later on, sometime before 7 o'clock? Sorry, I can't get more specific than that, but you just listen to this report and you go, yeah, I could see that happening here. or maybe, oh, yeah, that's well underway. So we'll get into that. Also, today, the Biden administration, again, in its infinite wisdom, don't be snowed, don't get snowed. They do not like oil and gas. And a decision today, again, shows their Green New Deal agenda. We'll talk about the decision to cancel a potential benefit for exploration of oil and gas in the United States, because all they're about is, to me, destroying the oil and gas industry everywhere and including this great state of Colorado. So again, thank you to Leader McKean. Thank you to Leader Holbert, and happy to welcome in State Representative Mike Lynch as we look now in the rearview mirror at the 2022 legislative session. Mike, thanks so much for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you, Steffan, and thank you so much for your voice of reason that you broadcast that doesn't get heard. We try to do that down at the House, and it falls on deaf ears. But thank you, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate that. How do you look at the 120 days that have now come and gone? We were talking, I'm not sure because I know you've been busy, but we had both leaders Holbert and McKean on, and they both pretty much agreed with me that from at least the outside, it was all about the abortion bill and the signing by the governor with the cheers. And I still fail to understand that. And of course, the fentanyl bill. Do you concur that those were pretty much the two biggest? And I know you guys certainly tried, but you just don't have the votes to do what you want.
Yeah, well, you're right. And I'm not sure how they've figured out that the abortion bill is a winning issue, but we've got bigger fish to fry. Like the fact that to fill up my truck is $120. So, and yes, not that those issues are not important, but they're out of touch with what is going on with the everyday working family in this state. So, and that was very evident by their list of priorities.
Yeah. Which, as we indicated, I mean, Chris Holbert was on with us in January when you started, and I remember distinctly hearing, the Republican agenda for you on the right side of the aisle, whether you're in the Senate or the House. And I think it was kind of funny because the agenda items, if you will, crime and education, et cetera, and making this state better and safer. Well, wouldn't you know that your colleagues on the left had kind of the same agenda items, but I guess they say, Mike, the devil is in the details.
Well, add a big dash of woke into that, and
sickeningly,
and now you have their big plan. I mean, honestly, when we're in the situation that we're in right now, economically, across the state, to go after these lofty goals of trying to make everything sunshine and rainbows is really not too doable when people are suffering financially. I mean, that's the first pain that people feel, and they didn't do anything to fix that.
Right. We're talking with State Representative Mike Lynch as we continue today, kind of devoting most of the program to the 2022 legislative session. Is there anything when you put your head on the pillow tonight, or maybe you did last night, that you go, you know what, we don't have the votes. Hopefully that things will change coming up with the midterms in November. But was there something that, you know what, at the end of the day, you were happy that was accomplished? Well, let me start specifically with House Bill 1326. Let's just call it the fentanyl bill. Are you at least happy that something was done? What's your take?
Yeah. Well, I will let you know that originally was my bill. That what happened is there's 100 opportunities with all the legislators there to do something on fentanyl, and I wrote a bill in December that really helped the district attorneys deal with the issue of manufactured distribution and trying to go one level up from possession. I did not run a possession bill because I knew that would not get anywhere. But I will tell you that the public discourse And people are not stupid, and they go, well, wait a minute, isn't the real issue is the fact that you can walk around with 4 grams of an illicit substance
Exactly.
and get a ticket? So that over, I mean, literally the public discourse and just the common sense of our citizens said, hey, wait a minute, that's not the problem. The problem is that now drug dealers no longer carry 20 pills in there or 20 grams in their pocket. They now carry 3.9 because they know that they're going to get a ticket, and they're going to tell the law enforcement that, have a good day, give me my ticket, and then leave me alone because you're not going to take me anywhere. So that's where the conversation went. And so what we needed to do was knuckle up and then address that issue, because that's what the public was asking us to do. And so if you're going to do it, let's do it. And so I stayed on that bill as long as I could. I will tell you that the bill that came from the Senate back to the House, I would have still stayed on that bill because it had good language in it. What they did is they put a bunch of language in the bill that made it nearly impossible for a prosecutor to put somebody in behind bars for possessing, and we could never get that figured out, and that caused me to have to jump off on a bill that I put hours and hours in, and there's a ton of good things about the bill. But we didn't answer the call of the public, and that's what my job is. And they didn't let me do my job, so they can own it.
Well, and I agree. Our guest, and hopefully, Mike, we can have you on many times down the road, Representative Mike Lynch, and your portions of Larimer and Weld, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Last hour, I thought it was very interesting. Leader McKean said, and these are his words, and I quote, "There's one party in control," close quote. You just said they can own it. Brother man, I could not agree with you more. And how in this state in 2022 or at any time in this state's history, hell, go back to when we were a territory, if you had something that could kill up to 2,000 people, and they wanted that to be a misdemeanor, then, well, through compromise and back and forth and the hours, countless hours, like you say, you've put into it, now it goes down to, well, now we did compromise. It goes from 4 grams of fentanyl to 1. I guess that is better, Representative. Well, you could kill, 3,000, 2,000 people. Now, I guess you can only kill 500.
Right. Yeah. And that's the difference. I mean, here's the real issue is that they've treated this like a drug. It's not a drug. It is a poison. It is a poison that in one pill will kill. And so you have to remove everything you know about all these other drugs that we thought we have fixed the problem on in the past, and say, no, this is different. This is a poison. So let's not even use the paradigms of the drug. We got to get serious about this. And when 100% of the law enforcement officials in the state, 100%, I guarantee you, would say there is no room for any of that in anyone's possession, we must crack down on it. And the Democrats refuse to listen to those voices, the people on the street, and say, no, we know better, and we're not going to listen to you. That is almost criminal. I mean, it's just really ridiculous that they won't listen to the people on the street.
Yeah, your fellow Republican Terry Carver yesterday on the floor of the Colorado State House talking about how, I wasn't there, but I want to kind of summarize, and I think it's definitely accurate. Look, if you don't have teeth that the prosecutors in this state can actually have to get tougher and to, for God's sake, crack down, what is the point? This is Representative Carver. I know you share my frustration and hers. Listen to this.
22 DAs, right?
Right.
And there are different views. But I managed to get on the phone with 3 that I knew had different positions on this bill. showed them the language, and asked them the question: can you effectively prosecute felony possession of 1 to 4 grams with this language? And the answer universally of those 3, now that's just 3 out of the 22 DAs, but I specifically picked 3 that I knew had different positions on this bill. All 3 of them said no.
Yeah, shockingly. Our guest is State Representative Mike Lynch. I mean, your reaction, it's just, I mean, if there's nothing that they can do, because, you know, you're taking away their teeth, so to speak. You're taking away the opportunity. I mean, my goodness, friend, I can't imagine how frustrating that is.
It is. And so the language that exists right now really does nothing. But the narrative will be that, oh, look what we did.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what, Mike, you know this. You've been in politics long enough. You know this. When you mention, I love you already because you used the term woke, like right off the bat. That is one of the reasons why things are, to me, so screwed up. But look, they're going to tell you that, well, we don't want to offend anybody. We don't want to, possibly somebody that could go through a rehabilitation process. We don't want to treat them like criminals. I'm telling you, if it's, and I know you agree with me, if now is not the time for law and order, and yes, that means get tougher, I don't know what's going to happen to this state.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you, I sat through 13 hours of testimony of families that had lost their children, and every one of them to a T said, I would much rather have a live felon than a dead child right now.
Amen.
And it was heart-wrenching to hear these testimonies. And they said, no, this is effective. We must crack down on these sort of activities. And you know, it's life or death with fentanyl. It's not a drug. You know, if you get addicted to it, God bless you. But, you know, the second time you take it, you're dead. Then, you know, that's not the same paradigm as we've used with traditional drugs in the past.
Oh, I love how you called it poison, because that's what it is. I'm sure, the people right now on YouTube, it's amazing. You can go and you can see police video from different departments around the country, where even our law enforcement in evidence rooms. I mean, there are officers that are completely, they're gloved up, but it touches their skin. I mean, again, I think there's no better way to put it, like you said, than poison. Well, let me ask you this as we wrap up. First of all, I hope you can definitely join us down the road and on certain things. But now, what does you take the representative hat off? What does Mike Lynch do in your life until next January?
Yeah. Well, I have a foundry and I make belt buckles. So I'm going to make a bunch of belt buckles. It's kind of the morals business. My job is to hold up pants with style. So, yeah.
Hey, I want to, you're not asking for it. I will offer this. Do you have a website? How can people go buy a belt buckle from you?
It's westernheritage.com.
Westernheritage.com. Listen, I'll exchange, I'll give you a cup of 710K in US water if you want to do a little, quid pro quo belt buckle for some water. Sure. I'd love to have you on, though, when you're back in, town. Come on anytime, and certainly look forward to it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
You bet. State Representative Mike Lynch there, as we take a look at the 2022 legislative session that is now, as of midnight last night, officially in the books. We'll take a time out for traffic and weather coming up. And when we come back, I want to talk to you a little bit about the brilliance, with heavy sarcasm, of the current administration. And I believe, Matt, I think for the second time this week, who can state our case better than even me? Jimmy Carter? It's like the Jimmy Carter week. I'm telling you, though, it'll make sense when it comes to what this administration did today and its Department of the Interior with a decision about oil and gas exploration, and how it can go back to, well, a couple of different things. First, April of 1977 from Jimmy Carter, a speech to the nation, and also from July of 1979. It would become known as, and it is now, as Jimmy Carter's, quote, crisis of confidence speech. I am telling you, and thank you, based on the texts that came in our 3 o'clock hour, I think we are hitting the bullseye, as one of our texters said. So if you have not heard about this, we'll make it all make sense, or you'll get more frustrated. That'll be coming up. You know what's really frustrating? Representative Lynch talks about what do you say, $120 to fill his truck up. Yeah, I feel your pain, brother. I also feel your pain if you've got, say, an outdated air conditioner that is gonna, if it hasn't already over the years, suck you dry. You know, older appliances and certainly things like an old AC can really be the biggest energy consumer in your household. So maybe it's time to think of a more energy efficient way to cool your abode. We'll get with my friends at 888 Heating. First of all, if you've got one that's okay, but it has not maybe been checked and inspected and cleaned in a while, 888 always has their $88 performance check. They'll come in, take apart your system, and make sure it's in excellent working order. And that, of course, will help you optimize the energy use. They also have, for a limited time right now, if you do need a new furnace or AC, $2,088 off. The purchase will start paying for itself right away. Save money on energy, and it is so damn expensive right now. 888 only installs American Standard units, the best in the industry at the best price. They'll go the distance for you. You'll get a text ahead of time confirming your appointment, and the tech is on his way or her way. They're so professional, and they're family owned and operated for more than 2 decades. Tell them Steffan sent you. You can check out their specials tab, see customer reviews, as well as, a way to, I guess, save more money. Again, that specials tab, customer reviews, and you can schedule online as well. Once again, 888heating.com. One quick reminder. Did you miss this guy yesterday?
Hello, this is the mayor of the pickleball. We're on 710 KNUS, Steffan Tubbs.
One take. The mayor of pickleball. If you missed him in studio, you can catch that on the podcast right now at 710knus.com/Steffan or the app. And the mayor of pickleball in with his attorney in our 4 o'clock hour yesterday. We'll take a break. Let's get traffic and weather. And then Jimmy Carter makes 2022 kind of make a little more sense. We'll have that next. 710 KNUS.
Good afternoon. Good time to get out there on the roadways, but you're going to find some slowing here and there, some stop and go traffic, as well as brake lights. Otherwise, we do have a crash East Lincoln Avenue at Chambers. You can expect some curiosity slowing at that location. Northbound I-25 from C-470 to I-225. That's going to take you about 6 minutes. And eastbound 119th from Highway 36 to Highway 287, going to take you 20 minutes. Looks like a 6-minute delay. I'm James Brown with traffic.
This report is sponsored by Panera.
Mark Levin sees a quick 180.
When it comes to aborting babies, all they ever talk about are women. Women, 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 women. Can you define a woman? No, but it's women, 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 women. The insanity, the evilness of these people knows no limits. Right up to the leaking of this first draft. They weren't defining women. They weren't defending women. They were destroying women's sports.
Mark Levin, weeknights at 7 on News Talk 710 KNUS.
Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Colorado Flat Fee Realty.
In today's active real estate market, don't pay too much to sell your house. Colorado Flat Fee Realty is now offering a 2% option. If you were selling a $500,000 house, the agent typically charges you 6%. That's $30,000 for just a few days of work. Colorado Flat Fee Realty has a much better way. On that same $500,000 sale, you would save thousands with Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Now with a 2% option, why would you list your house with anyone else? Pay less, keep more. Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Call 303-300-9660 to find out more. 303-300-9660 or visit ColoradoFlatFeeRealty.com. Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Now with a 2% option. Pay less, keep more. ColoradoFlatFeeRealty.com.
Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Pay less, keep more, save thousands.
Hey, Mike, what are you doing way up on that ladder? You're going to hurt yourself.
Oh, I'm trying to unclog these gutters.
That's smart. I had water damage from my gutters last year. It cost me $10,000.
Wait, $10,000?
Yeah, and from over here, it looks like water's been pouring over your clogged gutters, and it's probably doing real damage to your foundation. You need to do what I did. Get off the ladder and call Leaf Filter.
Yeah, but I need to get these gutters flowing now.
That's why you need to call Leaf Filter. They'll clean and realign your gutters and install their exclusive micro mesh screen system so nothing gets in your gutters except water.
So Leaf Filter protects my house from damage and means no more gutter cleaning for me?
Bingo! Plus, Leaf Filter has an industry-leading lifetime warranty, so your gutters are covered for life.
Thanks, Frank. I'm calling Leaf Filter today.
Don't go another day with your home unprotected. Call 1-844-300-LEAF or go to tryleaffilter.com for your free gutter inspection. Call 1-844-300-LEAF or go to tryleaffilter.com right now for an extra 15% savings. Call 1-844-300-LEAF or go to tryleaffilter.com. That's 1-844-300-LEAF.
Perfect air with a personal touch. Only Pastor Camp Heating and AC Inc. can give you authentic Lennox quality and service. They're the people you know and trust right here in our community. And for a limited time, they're offering up to $1,000 in rebates or make no payments for 6 months when you finance a new Lennox system for as little as $132 a month. To get quality Lennox equipment with trusted service provided by Pastor Camp Heating and AC Inc., call 303-777-1234 today or visit them online at pastorcamp.com. Conditions apply. See dealer for details.
It's easy and profitable to be kind to others when you enter the Kindness Challenge. Each day for 30 days, we'll post a new act of kindness that you can do for others. On June 1st, you could win $5,000, and a deserving organization will also receive $5,000 in your name. You can make a difference in others' lives when you enter the Kindness Challenge.
The Kindness Challenge is brought to you in part by Littleton Jewelry, your home for custom jewelry, diamonds, and repairs.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur with words from another happy payroll customer.
Well, it's very easy to use. From the login and the setup was extremely easy. I didn't have to call anyone for help. I was able to do it on my own. And I love the fact that I can run my payroll and print my pay stubs, and then you guys do all of the filing for me. So I get a quarterly report that everything's been filed on my behalf, and then at the end of the year, I can print out my W-2s. So I use you guys. I tell everybody, it's the easiest thing I've ever done. Why anybody doesn't use y'all, I don't know.
Visit us at PatriotSoftware.com. Use promo code RADIO and get 2 months of payroll free. That's PatriotSoftware.com.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
News Talk 710 KNUS. Listen live on Odyssey. Now, back to Steffan Tubbs. News Talk 710 KNUS.
Canceled, you could call it one of the most high-profile oil and gas lease opportunities pending. Nope. The Interior Department, or if you prefer, the Department of the Interior, says no. We are going to cancel the Alaska oil and gas lease sale. Why? Well, because it, as you know, is all about the Green New Deal and the agenda of this administration. Now, while I may sound frustrated and you may be frustrated, this should come as no surprise. But let me just give you a couple of details on, as we're in what you could call certainly an energy crisis. No, not because the world, this beautiful little small blue marble we live on, We are currently not running out of oil. Okay? And that will go against what you're about to hear in our history lesson from the late 1970s. God bless Jimmy Carter. God bless Rosalind Carter, two incredible human beings and individuals post-presidency. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a better former president who cares. And that guy, I mean, in his 90s, he slips and falls, shows up. I believe didn't he do a press conference within the last 18 months or so? He really fell, and he had a black eye. He still met in front of reporters. I've had the opportunity to interview him a couple of times in my career. But as you'll hear coming up, in the 70s, we're running out of oil. No, Mr. President, we're not running out of oil. What we have run out of, well, now to the, I guess, present day, is the desire to actually let oil and gas development continue. And dare I say, now we've got a new, let's hear it for this guy.
Joey, baby.
Thank you very much, because you thought a couple of days ago when we told you the all-time high average nationally, an average gallon of gasoline is $4.37. You should have filled up earlier this week, because as of today, the average price of a gallon of regular unleaded in the United States of America is now $4.40 a gallon, a full 3 cents more just this week. But this is all about their agenda. Let me give you the details, and then we'll get to how this ties in with one Jimmy Carter. So the Department of the Interior cited, quote, a lack of industry interest in leasing in the area, close quote. Really, it's a lack of interest. Or could it be that, that notorious, they like to say, big oil? Was it maybe the lack of interest that they were forced to have said lack of interest because the way this administration operates? Look, I wasn't in closed door meetings, obviously. But this administration, Joseph R. Biden, if he had his way, and many of the minions that probably are really running the show, they'd get rid of oil and gas in a heartbeat. Oh, you say you'll lose your job. If you lose your job, you won't have any money. If you don't have any money, you can't buy food. Oh, well, I guess you're just going to have to go apply for a job at, say, a solar plant, a solar company. We do hear that there may be just a couple of, I don't know, openings at a nuclear plant. What did we hear a few weeks ago? Definitely one in Georgia. Maybe one other one coming online up to our north in Wyoming. Anyway, my point is this. When you have $4.40 a gallon on average gasoline, many presidents probably would say, ooh, man, if anything, this isn't doing me or my party. And remember, even though he is who he is, Joe Biden wants to be reelected. Let's never lose sight of that. The man, this guy,
Joey, baby,
this freaking guy,
get vaccinated.
This guy.
This is not about freedom or personal choice.
And I think it's the same guy as
it's about
this guy.
Protecting yourself. $700 billion and $1.3 trillion.
He wants to be reelected. Right. They don't like oil and gas, and they'll tell you all you got to do is go buy an electric vehicle. Do your part. Well, back on April 18th, 1977, Jimmy Carter addressed the nation. We take you back in the archives.
The oil and natural gas that we rely on for 75% of our energy are simply running out. In spite of increased effort, domestic production has been dropping steadily at about 6% a year. Imports have doubled in the last 5 years, and our nation's economic and political independence is becoming increasingly vulnerable. Unless profound changes are made to lower oil consumption, we now believe that early in the 1980s, the world will be demanding more oil than it can produce. The world now uses about 60 million barrels of oil a day. and demand increases each year about 5%. This means that just to stay even, we need the production of a new Texas every year, an Alaskan North Slope every 9 months, or a new Saudi Arabia every 3 years. Obviously, this cannot continue. We must look back into history to understand our energy problem. Twice in the last several hundred years, there's been a transition in the way people use energy. The first was about 200 years ago, when we changed away from wood, which had provided about 90% of all fuel, to coal, which was much more efficient. This change became the basis of the Industrial Revolution. The second change took place in this century, with the growing use of oil and natural gas. They were more convenient and cheaper than coal, and the supply seemed to be almost without limit. They made possible the age of automobile and airplane travel. Nearly everyone who is alive today grew up during this period, and we have never known anything different. Because we are now running out of gas and oil, we must prepare quickly for a third change, to strict conservation, and to the renewed use of coal, and to permanent renewable energy sources like solar power.
Yeah. But that was from April 18th, 1977. A couple of different things. Did you notice there where, as one of our great texters earlier in the week so aptly put it, the difference between Jimmy Carter and Joe Biden is Carter talks with you, Joe Biden talks at you. Did you also notice something that was very, very interesting, that Joe Biden, either in his pea brain or what his people put in the teleprompter, there was no blaming the other side of the aisle? None. This was a message that, frankly, again, how it started.
The oil and natural gas that we rely on for 75% of our energy are simply running out.
That's not true. You know it and I know it. I think probably Jimmy Carter, very smart man, proud United States Navy veteran. I respect him for wearing the uniform, etc. But that wasn't true then, and it's not true now. The world is not running out currently, whether in 1977 or today. We're not running out of oil. We are, with certain administrations like this one, running out of the desire to ever see if there's any more. But the one thing I found interesting is you don't even have to listen to the message that he said back in 77. Just listen to what he said. He did not throw anybody under the bus. Let's see if I can find the example. Remember Joe Biden, even earlier this week.
It's the ultra MAGA agenda.
He couldn't even say it. But see, there was none of that with Jimmy Carter. As we head toward news with Roger, one more thing, and I realize if you're only tuning in a little bit during this week, you're like, I've tuned in twice, and you're talking about Jimmy Carter. I realize that it's a little fixation on Jimmy Carter from the 70s, but I think in playing this type of stuff, when you compare it to today, to me, there's kind of a logical connection, especially with this. We take it from 1977 to July 18th of 1979. This would become known as Jimmy Carter's Crisis of Confidence speech. Also ahead, as you'll hear, maybe for the first time as well, like me, I'd never heard Jimmy Carter angry until I heard this, and how appropriate these words would be in 2022.
Why have we not been able to get together as a nation to resolve our serious energy problem? It's clear that the true problems of our nation are much deeper than gasoline lines or energy shortages, deeper even than inflation or recession. So I want to speak to you first tonight about a subject even more serious than energy or inflation. I want to talk to you right now about a fundamental threat to American democracy. I do not mean our political and civil liberties. They will endure. And I do not refer to the outward strength of America. a nation that is at peace tonight everywhere in the world, with unmatched economic power and military might. The threat is nearly invisible in ordinary ways. It is a crisis of confidence. It is a crisis that strikes at the very heart and soul and spirit of our national will. We can see this crisis in the growing doubt about the meaning of our own lives and in the loss of a unity of purpose for our nation. Our progress has been part of a living history of America, even the world. We always believed that we were part of a great movement of humanity itself called democracy, involved in the search for freedom. And that belief has always strengthened us in our purpose. But just as we're losing our confidence in the future, we're also beginning to close the door on our past. In a nation that was proud of hard work, strong families, close-knit communities, and our faith in God, too many of us now tend to worship self-indulgence and consumption. Human identity is no longer defined by what one does, but by what one owns. But we've discovered that owning things and consuming things does not satisfy our longing for meaning. We've learned that piling up material goods cannot fill the emptiness of lives which have no confidence or purpose. The symptoms of this crisis of the American spirit are all around us. For the first time in the history of our country, a majority of our people believe that the next 5 years will be worse than the past 5 years. 2/3 of our people do not even vote. The productivity of American workers is actually dropping. And the willingness of Americans to save for the future has fallen below that of all other people in the Western world. As you know, there is a growing disrespect for government and for churches and for schools, the news media, and other institutions. This is not a message of happiness or reassurance, but it is the truth, and it is a warning.
I'm telling you, I think those words from July 18th, 1979, from President Carter, it's known as the Crisis of Confidence speech. He just did circles around whatever an attempt of this current president could do. I'd never heard Jimmy Carter like that. And isn't it true that, boy, you could say those words today? So many of the things he mentioned were true. We got to take a news break. When we come back, I want to tell you why flags in Washington and across the country have been ordered to fly at half staff. We'll talk about that. And your banjo playing senator from Colorado is in the news. We'll tell you why. And just a reminder, you've got tonight to watch with us. I think it's a fantastic film based on a true story. If you love wine, you have probably seen the film Bottle Shock, starring, among others, Alan Rickman and Chris Pine, for those of you younger. But it is our Friday Homestretch Film Review film assignment of the week. You've got tonight, most of tomorrow, at 6:40 tomorrow evening as we head into the weekend. Clips, trivia, and more. Bottle Shock is our film from 2008. Open up a bottle of Chardonnay and watch with us. And we'll give you clips, trivia, and more, sponsored by our friend Danny Cash. Danny Cash Hot Sauce, DannyCash.com. If you're tired of watching the government enable the drug addicted and homeless, talked so much in the last few weeks about fentanyl, maybe you're wondering if you can have a direct impact on the war on drugs and homelessness here in our state. Donate your vehicle to STEP. It'll give men there the opportunity for a safe, sober, and structured place to call home as they do the hard work to recover and rebuild their lives. They do not take any government funding at STEP, so they count on people like us. And you can consider this. For every one vehicle donated, gives one man the opportunity there. They maximize the amount of every donation for you to get the greatest tax deduction, and they get the most money they can to operate their Larimer Street facility and other sober houses around the metro area. Before you trade in that car, truck, SUV, motorcycle, think about donating it to STEP. And Vincent makes it so easy. It's hassle-free. Get a free tow. You can have a direct impact on things. Give Vincent a call at 303-296-9020. That's 303-296-9020 or stepdenver.org. That's stepdenver.org. When we come back, Hick, as well as why flags are at half staff, and we'll preview the 6 o'clock hour. That comes up next on 710 KNUS.
News Talk 710. Update.
Good evening. 70 degrees, cloudy, windy in Denver, going down to a low of 40, 710, 5-day forecast. Coming right up. Our top story, Denver Broncos wide receiver Jerry Jeudy was arrested today. The Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office confirmed he was arrested around noon for second-degree criminal tampering with a domestic violence enhancer. The charge is a misdemeanor. He's on the no bond hold, scheduled to be in court 9:30 Friday morning. The Biden administration working urgently to solve the nationwide baby formula shortage. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said President Biden ordered them to do so. Biden met earlier with retailers and infant formula manufacturers. House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy slamming a subpoena from the committee investigating the incident at the Capitol in January of last year. Here's Lisa Taylor.
McCarthy told reporters the panel isn't conducting a legitimate investigation. He accused committee members of going after their political opponents. The committee wants to hear about McCarthy's phone call with now former President Trump on January 6, 2021. The panel also sent subpoenas to 4 other House Republicans who are closely aligned with Trump. They are Ohio's Jim Jordan, Arizona's Andy Biggs, Pennsylvania's Scott Perry, and Mo Brooks from Alabama. All 5 Republicans refused invitations to testify voluntarily.
Colorado Rockies back home Friday against the Royals. Dow finished down today 103 points. S&P 500 down 5. NASDAQ up 6. This update brought to you by Done Right. If you're going to do it right or don't bother. Call Done Right for kitchens, baths, counters, and floors, and even replacement windows and doors. 800-362-8370 or drhi.com. Wake up with George Brockler weekday mornings from 6 to 10, only on News Talk 710 KNUS, the official station of the 2022 Western Conservative Summit. I'm Roger Quirtlebaugh.
Good afternoon. Good time to get out there on the roadways, but you're going to find some slowing here and there, some stop-and-go traffic, as well as brake lights. Otherwise, we do have a crash East Lincoln Avenue at Chambers. You can expect some curiosity slowing at that location. Northbound I-25 from C-470 to I-225, that's going to take you about 6 minutes. And eastbound 119th from Highway 36 to Highway 287, going to take you 20 minutes. Looks like a 6-minute delay. I'm James Brown with traffic.
This report is sponsored by Panera. So many words to describe Panera's new chef's chicken sandwiches, but just one bite will leave you speechless. Panera, the familiar made fantastic. Enjoy a $1 delivery fee when you order on their app. Restrictions apply.
Fair to partly cloudy skies as we head to the evening and overnight hours. Low down around 40 degrees. Breezy southwest winds. Tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny. Low to mid-70s on your Friday. Not much going on for the weekend. In fact, it'll be a real nice weekend. Highs will be 70s and low 80s Saturday and Sunday. Sunny to partly sunny. Nights 40s. Weather brought to you by Colorado Flat Fee Realty, now with a 2% option. Pay less, keep more. ColoradoFlatFeeRealty.com. I'm meteorologist Don Day on 710 KNUS.
People who suffer from long-term chronic joint pain spend so much of their time acting, putting up a carefree front. It's exhausting.
I was really tired of trying to act like I wasn't in pain because I was in pain all the time.
Rick Rawlings didn't want everyone else to know that he was coping with agonizing shoulder pain 24/7.
Yes, I had to put on a face to cover up my pain.
But then Rick found QC Kinetics, offering new lasting treatments for joint pain using natural biologics. Treatments designed to restore and repair joint tissue with no drugs, no surgery, no downtime. The results were amazing.
I am very glad. It changed my life doing the QC Kinetics. Today, my shoulders feel wonderful. The cranky Rick is gone. He's not grouchy anymore.
No more acting. Feel like yourself again with a call to QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 303-900-8986. That's 303-900-8986. QC Kinetics, 303-900-8986.
Hi, it's Peter Boyles here for my friend David Ellis in Cherry Creek. Now's the time to get a professional appraisal on all the valuables you have tucked away in your home. You could be sitting on a fortune in cash. David Ellis Jewelers pays top dollar for your diamonds, gold, sterling silver, wedding bands, and Rolex watches. You'll get instant cash on the spot. David offers confidential evaluations on precious metals, coins, silver sets, and estate sale jewelry and antique items. This trusted jeweler has been buying precious metals and antiques in Colorado for decades. No obligation, free appraisals, private and confidential. If you're looking to buy a gift for someone special in your life or yourself, the vast, expansive showroom, David Ellis Jewelers. Look for the black awning, the corner of 3rd and Clayton and Cherry Creek. Explore online, davidellisjewelry.com. 6 days a week. Call my friend David Ellis, 303-322-8779, 303-322-8779, online, davidellisjewelry.com. 3rd and Clayton and Cherry Creek, you'll be glad you did.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-711-6818 and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. 800-711-6818.
Now, back to Steffan Tubbs, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Or maybe they, whomever is controlling him, wanted him to do this outside of, well, you'll hear.
Hey, everyone. I'm standing outside the Supreme Court where a whole lot's been happening over the last week. As you probably know, a recently leaked draft opinion previewed the court is set to overturn Roe versus Wade, undoing nearly half a century of law and freedom. This is horrendous. A woman's healthcare decision should be between her and her doctor, nobody else.
Well, there's that. I'm sure John Hickenlooper is very proud to know that his state that he represents is a sanctuary for those women. As we go to the top, a sad, sad milestone this week when it comes to COVID.
President Biden opened a global COVID-19 summit this morning with the grim news.
Today, we mark a tragic milestone here in the United States. 1 million COVID deaths.
The number of deaths in Europe has now reached 2 million, and President Biden called on nations to keep up the fight.
We all must do more. We must honor those we have lost by doing everything we can to prevent as many deaths as possible.
The president's ordered flags in this country be flown at half staff to honor those who have died.
Nearly the entire country, 45 states and territories, are seeing at least a 10% increase in COVID infections. The current hotspot, the Northeast. Boston officials recommending but not yet mandating a return to masks indoors, as some parts of the city are now considered high risk.
We are in a time where we're learning to live with COVID.
In New York City, the transmission rate up 75% since last month, the highest level since the Omicron surge in January. The mayor monitoring the spread as he considers a return to the mask and vaccine mandates.
While you've seen the surge in cases, we're not seeing that correlated impact in mortality. The challenge we have is going forward, especially into the summer months, where we may see an impact in the South, where we don't have the same level of vaccination and boosting and testing.
71-year-old Shep Shove experienced a breakthrough infection. He's been fully vaxxed and boosted, but 12 days ago tested positive for COVID.
It just kept getting worse for another couple of days. And
then it stopped getting worse.
He says Paxlovid helped keep him out of the hospital.
Yeah, what would it have been like if I hadn't had 3 vaccines and the Paxlovid? So I have to think it would have been pretty bad.
It's perhaps the grimmest milestone of the pandemic. At least 1 million COVID deaths in the U.S., according to an official NBC News count.
That number is devastating, but in the modern context, 1 million deaths in a very advanced country is unthinkable.
Dr. Umesh Gidwani with Mount Sinai Hospital was on the front lines in New York City, one of the earliest epicenters of the pandemic.
It's very hard to lose a patient that you've been fighting for.
That from ABC, NBC, and CBS, all in the last 2 minutes. It's pretty good. We're equal opportunity here on the program. We've got the 6 o'clock hour news coming up, and we will talk more about fentanyl as it relates to one former great American city, San Francisco. And what they are experiencing in San Francisco, is it basically going to be, it's either here now, kind of coming here, or will. We'll talk about that. Our friends at Roll 'Em Out Shelves, ahead of the top of the hour, they can help you eliminate clutter and get more organized, whether it's your kitchen or bath, laundry, basement, any room with cabinet space. You'll love working with Joyce and Brent. Get online and book your free estimate. RollEmOutShelves.com. That's RollEmOutShelves.com or 303-475-9601. I love what they installed in my home. You will as well. Tell them Steffan sent you. RollEmOutShelves.com.
The Western Conservative Summit is one of the largest annual gatherings of conservatives in the Western United States. Thousands of attendees, over 100,000 viewers online. I'm Jeff Hunt. Join us June 3rd and 4th at the Gaylord Rockies Resort and Convention Center in Denver, Colorado.
This year's summit features former Trump press secretaries Kayleigh McEnany, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, and many more. Get tickets today at 710knus.com.
Dr. Julie McCallan here with Synergenics Denver. Our goal is better health for you. Aging doesn't have to be so hard. Getting older can be some of the best and most rewarding time of your entire life. At Synergenics, we use advanced testing and diagnostics to help uncover how to be a healthier you. The key to health isn't treating symptom after symptom. It's finding out why those symptoms are happening and what can be done to stop them for good. Your quality of life is directly linked to your specific risks. Our program is dedicated to keeping those risks as low as possible while increasing your energy, performance, and overall well-being. We start with comprehensive testing, followed by the prescription of precision medicines that address your specific health needs. We create a program designed specifically for you to help you focus, become stronger, and feel again in control of your life. Call Synergenics today. Our number is 720-387-3681 or visit our website at denver.synergenics.com. That's denver.synergenics.com.
Hey, Mike, what are you doing way up on that ladder? You're going to hurt yourself.
Oh, I'm trying to unclog these gutters.
That's smart. I had water damage from my gutters last year. It cost me $10,000.
Wait, $10,000?
Yeah, and from over here, it looks like water's been pouring over your clogged gutters, and it's probably doing real damage to your foundation. You need to do what I did. Get off the ladder and call Leaf Filter.
Yeah, but I need to get these gutters flowing now.
That's why you need to call Leaf Filter. They'll clean and realign your gutters and install their exclusive micro mesh screen system so nothing gets in your gutters except water.
So Leaf Filter protects my house from damage and means no more gutter cleaning for me?
Bingo! Plus, Leaf Filter has an industry-leading lifetime warranty, so your gutters are covered for life.
Thanks, Frank. I'm calling Leaf Filter today.
Don't go another day with your home unprotected. Call 1-844-300-LEAF or go to tryleaffilter.com for your free gutter inspection. Call 1-844-300-LEAF or go to tryleaffilter.com right now for an extra 15% savings. Call 1-844-300-LEAF or go to tryleaffilter.com. That's 1-844-300-LEAF.
Guys, stop putting putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-711-6818 and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. 800-711-6818.
KNUS Denver, a Salem Media Group station.
Hi, this is George Brockler. Join me weekday mornings from 6 to 10 a.m. only on News Talk 710, KNUS Denver's local talk leader.
Good afternoon. Good time to get out there on the roadways, but you're going to find some slowing here and there, some stop and go traffic, as well as brake lights. Otherwise, we do have a crash East Lincoln Avenue at Chambers. You can expect some curiosity slowing at that location. Northbound I-25 from C-470 to I-225. That's going to take you about 6 minutes. And eastbound 119th from Highway 36 to Highway 287, going to take you 20 minutes. Looks like a 6-minute delay. I'm James Brown with traffic.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag. Wendy's Biggie Bag is just $5. Get your choice of a double stack junior bacon cheeseburger or crispy chicken BLT plus 4-piece nugs, small fries, and a small drink, all for $5. U.S. price of participation may vary.
Denver's local talk leader. News Talk 710 KNUS. The news now.
6 o'clock, a few clouds, breezy, and 70 degrees in Denver, going down to a low tonight of 40 degrees. Some 10 5-day forecast coming right up. Our top story, Denver Bronco wide receiver Jerry Jeudy has been arrested by Arapahoe County Sheriff's deputies, right now being held at the Arapahoe County Jail on charges of second-degree criminal tampering with a domestic violence enhancer, a misdemeanor. He's on a no-bond hold. Has a court appearance scheduled for 9:30 Friday morning. President Biden is announcing some moves to fight the ongoing shortage of baby formula. Among the steps being taken is importing more products. The FDA will announce specific steps in the days ahead. Meantime, Biden says there will be a new effort focused on price gouging. This update brought to you by Staples Stores. Staples Stores are a new world of possible with innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Explore more at your local Staples Stores or stapleconnect.com. The White House is throwing some shade on Russian President Vladimir Putin for threatening retaliations if Finland joins NATO. Press Secretary Jen Psaki said Putin caused the ongoing turmoil in Eastern Europe by invading Ukraine. She advised Putin, look in the mirror. Psaki also noted the U.S. would support NATO applications from Finland and Sweden. Colorado Avalanche will play the winner of the Blues Wild Series. That series goes to Game 6 tonight. Wake up with George Brockler weekday mornings from 6 to 10 only on News Talk 710 KNUS, the official station of the 2022 Western Conservatives.
Fair to partly cloudy skies as we head to the evening and overnight hours. Low down around 40 degrees. Breezy southwest winds. Tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny. Low to mid-70s on your Friday. Not much going on for the weekend. In fact, it'll be a real nice weekend. Highs will be 70s and low 80s Saturday and Sunday. Sunny to partly sunny. Nights 40s. Weather brought to you by Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Now with a 2% option. Pay less, keep more. ColoradoFlatFeeRealty.com. I'm meteorologist Don Day on 710 KNUS.
A longtime newsman with an opinion, a proud dad, an American, supporter of our veterans and active duty military. Common sense discussion begins now. This is the Steffan Tubbs Show on News Talk 710 KNUS.
Along, we're going to kind of take a different approach in our final hour together. We've done a lot, in fact, probably more today collectively in a short amount of time on the 2022 state legislative session than probably at any other time during said legislative session. Thank you to House Minority Leader Hugh McKean, he joined us. Our good friend of the program, State Senator Chris Holbert, who, if you maybe are just tuning in and did not know, Chris was here in studio for about 90 minutes, and he's term limited. And coming up soon, he and his wife, they have sold their house in Douglas County, and they're moving to Florida. Now, it's not because of Denver and Decay. His wife's family down there in Florida, and they're empty nesters. So he said he's sick and tired of shoveling snow, so they're going to be taking walks on the beach instead. So we had Chris in, and then last hour, if you were with us, we had State Representative Mike Lynch on. And basically, all three lawmakers, yes, all three Republicans, because I just don't think any state representative or senator with a D in front of their name wants to come on the program. Nope. We tried. We tried to get Speaker Alec Garnett to come on, and their loss. They could be on Colorado's most popular and entertaining afternoon and evening program, but they decided not to. So feel free to do what you're doing. How about this? You do you, we'll do us. How's that? Welcome to those of you who have maybe discovered that we are now live streaming on YouTube. Hello, friends. 710 KNUS YouTube channel. If you are there, why don't you subscribe, and then you can get alerts as to when we go live on said KNUS YouTube channel. The website, 710knus.com/Steffan. The app you can download for free. Hopefully that has been on your smartphone for years. You can text the studio here, and our number, 303-696-1971. We'd like to extend a special welcome to those of you who are listening live stream, whether you are, I don't know, I-25 in Lincoln, or maybe you are like my friend Jeff, who is in Alaska listening at times. We had a listener, Randy, send me an email a couple of days ago. Not that Randy. He was listening from Spain. So thank you, please. Even though I kind of am making light of it, I think that is so cool and greatly appreciate it. Feel free to let us know where you're listening from outside of Colorado, and we'll certainly try to give you a shout out on the air before we sign off at 7 o'clock. So we talked a lot about the legislative session, and all three lawmakers, all three of them agreed with basically, I guess, my premise that when all is said and done, despite the fact that the Republicans had their 3 or 4 or 10-point agenda to accomplish going into this legislative session back in January, funny that the Republicans put their agenda out, the Democrats put its agenda out, and wouldn't you know that, wow, both sides have education, crime, making Colorado safer, the economy, etc. As I said to Mike Lynch about an hour ago, it's just that the devil's in the details. So thank you for tuning in. But in this hour, I want to go just a little bit different with kind of a connection, obviously, to a topic that we have talked about, to me personally, and I don't mean to kind of exclude you if you disagree. Maybe now that we've talked about it for so long, you almost roll your eyes, or hopefully you don't change the station, but it's the F word. And that F word would be fentanyl. But I came across today, and kind of my show prep that I do, I came across a BBC report, and this is just from a few days ago. So it's not like I went back to the archives like we did with Jimmy Carter several times this week from the mid to late 1970s. But what I'm about to play for you coming up in just a couple of minutes is this BBC report, Dateline San Francisco. Now, look, whether you agree or disagree, I may never change your opinion. You'll never change mine. San Francisco used to be one of my absolute favorite cities. No matter if I was living in New York, here in Colorado, or even in Southern California. One thing that you'd only really get this if you were a Californian, there are some times where, even though traditionally Southern California versus Northern California versus Southern, for example, the biggest baseball rivalry, my Padres have a rivalry with the Dodgers. The Dodgers say It's not a rivalry. We just kick your ass up and down on the diamond most every season. But like, for example, the big baseball rivalry in California is between the Giants and the Dodgers. But at the same time, if you're from California, you don't want maybe to mention it too loudly, but you love the other. Like you love traveling. So growing up in Southern California, oh my gosh, I would love when we could take a trip to San Francisco, or as an adult, when I could go back to San Francisco. Now, on this program over the years, what do we talk about? We talk about heaping piles of steaming human shit on the sidewalks. The Tenderloin District. Don't step on a needle. It's kind of like doing hopscotch. San Francisco, sadly, is no longer what it once was. Does that sound familiar? Kind of like Denver. But we will get into the crisis that is fentanyl, and this BBC story I wanted to play for you in a couple of parts. So we will have that coming up. A couple of top headlines for you. You may have seen that several members, including leader Kevin McCarthy and others, Jim Jordan, who I'm a big fan of out of Ohio, they were subpoenaed today, all part of the January 6th commission. Here is something that if you are on social media, specifically Twitter, you may have already known this. I learn something new, at least I hope to, every day. Did you know that there is its own Twitter handle for the House Select Committee on January 6th? Can you believe that? There is its own, with, of course, its blue check mark. They have a Twitter page. I mean, it's just, if you're not on Twitter, you're like, who cares? If you are, you're maybe, unless you didn't, maybe you knew, but I didn't. So anyway, well, now this show is following the House Select Committee for January 6th. I don't know what's going to happen, whether or not, can you say that the circle is getting smaller? And I don't know. They would certainly want you to think, let's see, who could I think of off the top of my head that absolutely would try to convince you the circle is closing in on Donald Trump? Let's see. I can think of, speaking of California, one of the biggest maroons out there. Let's see, a couple of them from Southern California. Adam Liar Pants on Fire Schiff. I mean, who's a bigger liar, Adam Schiff or Dr. Fauci? Whew, they're neck and neck. It's like a finish at the Kentucky Derby. Maxine Waters, arguably the biggest racist in the United States Congress. Of course, Queen Pelosi. Funny. There's a theme there. Pelosi knows San Francisco, doesn't she? How about Chucky? Of course, Chuck Schumer. Of course, the president, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But you just go on social media, Google January 6th Commission or whatever it is, and they'll tell you, oh, that noose is about to tighten on none other than former President Trump. I just saw that there's news about, and I'll try to find out more this hour. There's news about the National Archives and Donald Trump, what he apparently took to Mar-a-Lago before leaving Washington, D.C. Matt, maybe if you can keep me honest on that, I'll try to do some digging at the next break. But back to San Francisco, we'll have more on this BBC report coming up, and out of, again, one of what used to be great cities in this country. We could not do our program, obviously, without our great sponsors like Marcy and her terrific team at Highlands Ranch Travel. I've been telling you for a couple of weeks now that business travel, leisure travel, they have helped me for more than 15 years. And maybe now it's time for you to take that vacation that may have been postponed or you wished you would have taken before the pandemic. Look, I just got a text from a friend not too long ago. No more masks at DIA. You don't have to right now. No, you don't have to wear them on a plane right now. Who knows if it's coming back. But now you can travel, and you should trust the pros, I think, at Highlands Ranch Travel. Yes, they're going to be the first to tell you, of course, we know that you can do a lot of it on your own on the internet. But when it comes to vacations, and it's not that I think all vacations matter, no matter how small, unless it's just a total disaster. Hopefully it's not. But if you want to take that vacation and, it's a big one, say, I don't know, an African safari, or you're going to go see Stonehenge or something like that, I would rather talk with somebody that's been there and done that, or get their advice professionally. And I'm old school. I like to see brochures and get tips. And that's what you'll get. You'll get personalized service at Highlands Ranch Travel. You can count on as well 24-hour travel assistance while you're on the road. You will have them hopefully build for you one-of-a-kind experiences, and you will bring home the best memories. You can stop dreaming, friends, and start packing. It's HRTVL, HR for Highlands Ranch, TVL for travel, hrtvl.com, or 303-791-2311. You don't have to live in Highlands Ranch or Douglas County to take advantage. They can work with you on the phone, but I would recommend, especially if it's a vacation you've been dreaming of, get with Highlands Ranch Travel. Tell them Steffan sent you, hrtvl.com. This from the BBC, Dateline, San Francisco.
San Francisco is one of the richest cities in the world. But below its gleaming buildings lies a humanitarian disaster.
We have had, more overdose deaths in 1 year than we did of COVID deaths in our city.
Every day, on average, 2 people die from a drugs overdose here. In December, Mayor London Breed called for a state of emergency in a notorious district called the Tenderloin.
Pow! Pow! Get me off!
We've been told it's simply too dangerous to bring our cameras here, so we are filming on our phones.
Black market. Artie works for a charity called Urban Alchemy.
There is a lot of open drug use. I mean, it just happened literally right now, right here.
Urban Alchemy aims to get drug dealers off the street and helps addicts find a way to drug services.
Good morning, good morning. You okay? We about to come through and clean up, okay? Who all want coffee? Let's go. How you doing, brother?
We immediately came across a street with so many people doing fentanyl, it was hard to get by.
Can I ask what you're smoking, sir? Fentanyl.
The local drug dealers had delivered the fentanyl about half an hour before we arrived. Some were openly taking it on the street, seemingly unworried about the police.
There you go. There you go.
Seeing this firsthand is pretty shocking.
He trying to make it up. There you go.
Got it, bro?
You got it, bro?
Fentanyl was developed as a pain medication. Its use as a recreational drug, though, has exploded due to its low cost. It's 100 times stronger than morphine, and even a tiny quantity can kill.
Yeah, this is like this every day. And
there's evidence of drug use everywhere.
There go 1 that's been used, 2, 3, these are pulled out of needles.
As we were filming, a woman approached us.
Do you guys know where we can get any free tents at around here?
Free tents?
Beth and her partner Jay have been in San Francisco for a year.
So are you doing fentanyl like today or?
Every day.
Every day, yeah.
Really? What's it like living here?
Lawless. Completely lawless. This is anarchy.
In December, the Democrat mayor of San Francisco made a spectacular U-turn on previous progressive policies. She had advocated defunding the police. Now she was refunding them. More aggressive policies on law and order.
It is time for it to come to an end. And it comes to an end when we take the steps to be more aggressive with law enforcement and less tolerant of all the bullshit that has destroyed our city.
San Francisco is falling apart.
The right-wing media in the US has become obsessed with San Francisco.
The Tenderloin, I didn't think it would, but it's actually gotten worse.
The city is covered in filth and homeless encampments.
To many Republicans, the city is a sign of everything that's wrong with the left. a town ruined by liberal drug laws and a lax attitude to crime. And the figurehead for that is this man, Democrat Chesa Boudin, the elected district attorney for San Francisco.
Boudin is a Yale-educated public defender who has never prosecuted a case.
Fox News has mentioned your name more than 1,000 times in written content in the last year.
Well, it sounds like you're paying more attention to Fox News than I am, and my sympathies for that. We come together today because of our...
Chesa Boudin is a radical, part of a wave of liberal DAs that have been elected in cities across America. He's responsible for which crimes get prosecuted. His detractors say he simply doesn't prosecute enough and that he's soft on crime.
Part one from a BBC report on fentanyl within the past few days in San Francisco. Interesting, isn't it, to hear about another progressive district attorney? You know that when the district attorneys around the country, they've got, and they're back to doing their little conferences. Good old Beth, she's probably goes over to this D-bag and, oh, you're just my hero. You're my hero. Who are you? Oh, I represent the Denver Justice Center. We'll get back to part two in just a moment. Also coming up next segment, I just want to tease ahead. I'll give you an update on remember the ordinance that went into effect, I think, speaking of Denver and Decay, in the city and county of Denver, I believe it was January 1, where no longer are you supposed to get, say, extra packets of Taco Bell taco sauce. You're not supposed to get any plasticware. Remember we played that crap for you, like Save the Spoon? Really what this is a Denver City Councilwoman urging you, fine citizens of the city and county of Denver and Decay, to narc on one another. Specifically, narc on the restaurant or fast food joint that is giving you stuff without asking you first. Because if you didn't know it, that is the law. So we'll have that. First, though, my friends at Advanced Hair Restoration, you know what? They have over the years literally changed the lives of tens of thousands of people. You've looked in the mirror. You've maybe, God forbid, tried the comb over, guys. No, it's not good. Get with Advanced Hair Restoration. They've got a guarantee for you. Their one-day treatment begins growing and helps you grow your own natural hair the very next day. They are the leaders in the industry, and be sure to ask about the guarantee as well. They can address decades of hair loss in just one day. Advanced Hair's exceptional standard of care always makes it the perfect time for you to pursue your needs. Maybe you've put it off for many, many years. Do yourself a favor, call them, schedule for that free consultation that they offer. If you choose to move forward, you'll also receive $250 off plus 250 free hair grafts. Their number, 720-459-HAIR. That's 720-459-HAIR. Find out if your bald spot, receding hairline, or thinning hair is in fact optimal for you to work with Advanced Hair Restoration today. Their process is incredibly simple, and making the call is probably going to be for you the hardest part. 720-459-HAIR, or view the before and after pictures right now at advancedhair.com. That's advancedhair.com. Now back to part two, and we pick up with that so progressive district attorney in San Francisco.
This is an issue we can't prosecute our way out of. The history of the war on drugs tells us that. We need real investments in housing, in treatment on demand, on mental health services, on harm reduction, and doubling down on a failed war on drugs is never going to solve those problems.
But London Breed argues that the city's compassion has been mistaken for weakness.
We have services. If you look at what we spend in San Francisco per resident compared to any other major city in this country, I bet there is no comparison. So we're making the investments. The investments alone are not going to combat the challenges that continue to exist in the city and especially in the Tenderloin.
These two politicians are the most important in the city, both Democrats, remember, and yet they simply don't agree on how to solve San Francisco's issues.
I was very surprised, frankly, to see London Breed publicly call for moving more than $100 million out of the police budget into other areas of the budget.
And while the politicians argue about how to tackle these problems, some worry that time is running out for their loved ones. Jackie's son, Corey, is living on the streets of San Francisco.
I know that he's overdosed before and been revived with Narcan, so just one little mistake.
Jackie hasn't seen or heard from Corey in 2 months. She's come to the Tenderloin to try to find him.
Those are dealers over there. I don't see him over there. Let's go this way. I'm looking for my son today. Have you happened to have seen him?
Look for me. You been out here for a while?
Yeah, he has been.
We're not having much luck, but then a glimmer of hope.
I'm looking for my son who's out here. His name's Corey.
That's Corey. Yeah, I know Corey.
I know.
Yeah, I know Corey very well. I see Corey all the time.
When's the last time you saw him?
Yesterday.
Did you see him yesterday? Was he here in San Francisco or was he in Oakland? He was here. Can you just tell him his mom's out here looking for him next time you see him?
Is everything okay?
Everything's okay. I just really miss him.
That might be him right there.
With a wheelchair?
No, it's dirt. Sorry.
Despite our best efforts, we simply can't find him.
Corey is not blameless. My son makes the choices that he does that got him into this position, and he'll be the first to tell you that, he made this mistake. So while he has a part to do with it, I think the dealers, I think Chesa Boudin, I think Mayor London Breed, I think they all have a hand in it not going well.
San Francisco isn't short of good people trying to help. Back in the Tenderloin, Artie managed to find Jay and Beth a new tent.
That's why we do what we do.
They'll at least be able to sleep better tonight. But until someone comes up with a solution to the problems in the Tenderloin, it's likely to remain tough for them and thousands like them.
So, friends, I ask you, sad piano music in the background or not? Is that coming to Colorado? Isn't it already kind of here? What I find, and one of the mantras of this program is, number one rule is we keep it civil. But I'll tell you, I say all the time, I bet you I average once a week saying I never want to be a hypocrite. Do you remember? Of course you do, as we get ready for a traffic and news update and weather as well. These people surrounding George Floyd, how many, literally thousands of elected Democrat leaders in this country in 2020 and the summer of hell-ish period, from George Floyd's death through the end of that calendar year, how many of them just got on the bandwagon and said, defund the police? Isn't it funny, in less than 2 years now, they want to, many of them, refund the police? That's hypocritical. When we come back, I would say maybe not hypocritical, but a Denver City Councilwoman who wants you, yes, you in the city and county of Denver, to be a narc. And she even said so much on social media. We'll have that next. This is 710 KNUS.
Good afternoon. Good time to get out there on the roadways, but you're going to find some slowing here and there, some stop and go traffic, as well as brake lights. Otherwise, we do have a crash East Lincoln Avenue at Chambers. You can expect some curiosity slowing at that location. Northbound I-25 from C-470 to I-225. That's going to take you about 6 minutes. And eastbound 119th from Highway 36 to Highway 287, going to take you 20 minutes. Looks like a 6-minute delay. I'm James Brown with traffic.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag.
Hey,
everybody, Randy Corcoran. I'm back again Saturday, and it's on again. 3 rounds in a cage match with former Republican state chairman, campaign manager, and consultant Dick Wadhams. His rules: no calls, no texts. It's mano a mano. Let's see if we can learn something, or he can learn something, or better yet, we all learn something. Either way, it should be great radio Saturday.
Wake up with Randy Corcoran, Saturdays from 9 to noon on News Talk 710 KNUS.
Hi, it's Peter Boyles. Don't go through another summer with that awful joint pain. Call QC Kinetics now. Here's the deal. The pain in your back, your knees, your shoulders, it can be now treated with the latest in precision medicine using natural biologics, growth factors that can restore and repair damaged tissue. Really exciting stuff. It's right here. QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, giving you access right here, this modern day joint pain solutions. You can get lasting joint pain relief, no drugs, no steroids, no downtime, and no surgery. You heard Emmett Smith raving about QC Kinetics. You've heard or seen other high-profile people talking about it. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics can help you get your life back again. Take action now. A free consultation, powerful, effective joint pain treatment, natural biologics are right here. So call QC Kinetics now, 303-900-8986. That's 303-900-8986.
I'm about to compare a pepper shaker to a cash-out refinance. Hang with me. You know when you're at a restaurant and they ask, would you like some fresh ground pepper? And then they crank that giant tube, but almost nothing comes out? For me, only a certain amount of time is socially acceptable to wait. I know that getting that pepper out might make my life better, but it just seems too impossible. And that's what we hear people say about the cash-out refinance. People realize that the value of their home has gone up like hot pepper the last few years, leaving all this extra money sitting inside their home. But is it too hard to get out? It's Ryan from United Faith Mortgage. If you're interested in cashing out the extra pepper in your home, we're good at doing all the work while you just sit back and relax. And often, your mortgage payment and years in the loan will stay the same. If you'd like to hear about your options,
we are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
This is George Brockler for Littleton Jewelry. I don't know about you, but a local jeweler I can trust is a little thing that's actually a big thing. Whether it's a watch repair, diamond upgrade, or something else, anything else, we're usually talking about a piece of jewelry that has as much sentimental value as it does monetary value. Littleton Jewelry are my team. I trust for everything from repairs to major purchases. Jesse and his team will take great care of you. Littleton Jewelry is located on Santa Fe, just south of Hudson Gardens. Look for the jewelry repair sign. Visit littletonfinejewelry.com.
Bronco wide receiver Jerry Jeudy arrested today. I'll fill you in as to why coming up in our next news right here on News Talk 710.
Now, back to Steffan Tubbs, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Film this week, sponsored by Danny Cash. Danny Cash Hot Sauce. DannyCash.com is Bottle Shock. The film Bottle Shock, based on true events. Chateau Montelena on Tubbs Lane, by the way, Matthew. I don't know if you know this. Chateau Montelena. Matt's going to watch for the first time Bottle Shock. It's about the California wines winning a competition in France and really putting Napa Valley on the map. So there you go. Starring Chris Pine and the great late Alan Rickman. We'll have clips, trivia, and more coming up a little more than 24 hours from now. Danny Cash, by the way, visit his store, barbecue sauce, hot sauce, was talking with us earlier in the week about, Matt tried the horseradish. Matt, he's a soy sauce. Matt's he's kind of our little experimenter. What would we say? You're like a guinea pig.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's me.
You enjoyed it. So, and I think of you much more highly than just a hot sauce tasting guinea pig. I know you know that. So
I do.
Yeah. So Matt will watch tonight. Maybe you will as well if you haven't watched it so far this week. But Bottle Shock, See Danny's store in the River Point Shopping Center near Santa Fe and Hamden. Of course, online, DannyCash.com. And he told us earlier in the week about how much he supports our military and 25% off active duty and veterans. Just his way of saying thank you. All right. I don't know if you remember this, kind of going back many, many months, but they call it the Skip the Stuff campaign in the city and county of Denver. And in a nutshell, this is you know how the when they write any kind of law, there shall be no, that kind of language. Well, if you are aware of the new law that went into effect in the city and county of Denver and Decay, they're trying those little buckaroos. They're just trying as hard as they can. They may not be able to stop fentanyl and murder and crime and rape and assault and hit and runs and shootings and stabbings and outdoor deaths and cars going into Cherry Creek, but by God, they can try as best they can to make sure it's against the law to get any any condiments or plastic silverware unless you ask for it. Yes, believe it or not, that is on the books. That is a law in Denver and Decay, and they want to cram it down your throat so much, they even include in official government correspondence with you and me, the lowly citizens out here, outside of the city and county building. They even include a link to a shame and guilt YouTube piece known as Save the Spoon.
Liquefied, they're molded into the shape of a beautiful spoon. The spoon drops and cools off to harden. Wrapped in plastic, it is put into a box, and the box is put on a pallet, and the pallet is put into a container, and the container is put on a truck, and the truck drives to a port, where the container is put on a ship. And ship, the spoon arrives 6,000 kilometers around the world, where it is picked up by a merchant who puts it on a truck and drives it to a store, where it's placed on a shelf in a temperature-controlled room, where it sits for 2 months until you select it and pay for it with the money you've worked hard for, and you drive the spoon home, which is where you are standing right now with the spoon in your hand. Now tell me, do you still think it's too much effort to use a metal spoon that you just have to wash?
Seriously. Shame and guilt, guilt and shame. We are the Dems in Denver and Decay. Lauren.
I call bullcrap.
Yeah. So what I'm about to tell you would definitely be enhanced, with the sad piano music. Her name is Kendra Black. Kendra Black is a Denver City Councilwoman. No doubt she would tell you, along with Fat Tay, duly elected. You see, friends, Kendra Black represents Denver's District 4. It does enhance everything, doesn't it? The sad piano music. Kendra Black, 9:54 a.m., 10 May 2022, just 2 days ago, took to social media, and I quote, "Still getting plastic forks and condiments in your to-go orders? If you've been to a restaurant where they provided them without asking you first, please let the city know so we can remind them to skip the stuff." Hashtag skip the stuff. Then there's a hyperlink to the City and County of Denver's government website. Thank you for letting us know about retail food establishments and third-party delivery services that need, get this is a total load of bull bleep. Please let us know about these people that, quote, need personalized outreach about Denver's Skip the Stuff program. We will work with these businesses to make sure they are in compliance together. we can reduce waste, prevent litter, and protect our rivers and streams. Then there is a form you can fill out. So I'm going to type in Matt's Barbecue at 123 Hancock Lane, Denver, Colorado, USA. It asks you things like delivery service name, street address, the city. Well, are we supposed to type in any other city but Denver? Or would you like to say, take your skip the stuff, and if somebody's listening and wants to complain online, say in Colorado Springs, Grand Junction, Lamar, Eads, Craig, or Durango. Narc on them. Then they ask you, when did you last visit the location? What do you want to let us know about this location? That the store is providing single-use condiments and single-use serviceware without request from the customer? Would you like to report on them that, they don't have signage in their window or at the counter about skip the stuff? And then there's a box, any other information we should know? Because by God, we are the city of Denver and we will get the narc police out. Oh, you also have to show that you're not a robot. But see, this is Kendall Black's dream. Forget the outdoor deaths, the heroin usage right outside of her office in Civic Center Park. Forget killing babies at 8 months of age. Skip the stuff. And she would like you to narc on your favorite Colorado business. Matt, let's have full, to bring this whole thing to a close, let's lift this thing up. Let's just bring this up big time. I'm Kendra Black, and I approve this message. We mock because, A, we should. We are equal opportunity offenders. And let me just tell you, once again, the priorities in the city and county of Denver and Decay are so outlandishly, outrageously whacked that they would go after the mayor of Pickleball, and they want you to narc on, the Uber driver? Your favorite Chinese restaurant that you get takeout? You see, that's the priorities here, and that is why we freaking mock. You know what would sound good with the sad piano music, Matt?
Hello, this is the mayor of the Pickleball. We're on 710 KNUS, Steffan Tubbs.
Thank you, Mayor. Big finish. We'll bring this piano music up, and we'll get you a newscast. Try not to cry and skip the stuff.
Now, news, traffic, weather, and the latest on Ukraine.
It's windy, cloudy, and 68 degrees in Denver. We're going down to a low of 40 tonight. The 7-10 5-day forecast coming right up. Our top story, Denver Bronco wide receiver Jerry Jeudy was arrested today. The Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office confirmed he was arrested around noon for second-degree criminal tampering with a domestic violence enhancer, a case involving the mother of his 1-month-old child.
There was, again, no physical contact between Mr. Jeudy and the female party in this specific case.
That's Arapahoe County Sheriff Tyler Brown. The charge is a misdemeanor. He is on a no bond hold, scheduled to be in court 9:30 Friday morning. Broncos 2022 schedule was released tonight. Opening game will be a Monday night game, September 12th in Seattle, as Russell Wilson will make his debut for the Broncos against his old team. Ashley Judd sat down with Good Morning America before the autopsy results of her mother, country legend Naomi Judd, was released. She said that her mom used a gun to take her own life when she was at her house. She had gone up to open the door for one of her mother's friends, and when she went upstairs, she found her mother.
I will share with you that she used a weapon. Mother used a firearm. I was at the house visiting, as I am every day. And Mom said to me, will you stay with me? And I said, of course I will. I went upstairs to let her know that the friend was there, and I discovered her.
Naomi died one day before being inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. Colorado Avalanche will play the winner of the Blues Wild Series, Game 6 of that series tonight. Blues lead 3-2. This update brought to you by Staples Stores. Staples Stores are a new world of possible with innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Explore more at your local Staples store or staplesconnect.com. Wake up with George Brockler weekday mornings from 6 to 10 only on News Talk 710 KNUS, the official station of the 2022 Western Conservative Summit. I'm Roger Quirtlebaugh.
Good afternoon. Good time to get out there on the roadways, but you're going to find some slowing here and there, some stop-and-go traffic, as well as brake lights. Otherwise, we do have a crash east Lincoln Avenue at Chambers. You can expect some curiosity slowing at that location. Northbound I-25 from C-470 to I-225, that's going to take you about 6 minutes. And eastbound 119th from Highway 36 to Highway 287, going to take you 20 minutes. Looks like a 6-minute delay. I'm James Brown with traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Stores are a new world of possible with innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Explore more at your local Staples store or staplesconnect.com.
Fair to partly cloudy skies as we head to the evening and overnight hours. Low down around 40 degrees. Breezy southwest winds. Tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny. Low to mid-70s on your Friday. Not much going on for the weekend. In fact, it'll be a real nice weekend. Highs will be 70s and low 80s Saturday and Sunday. Sunny to partly sunny. Nights 40s. Weather brought to you by Colorado Flat Fee Realty, now with a 2% option. Pay less, keep more. ColoradoFlatFeeRealty.com. I'm meteorologist Don Day on 710 KNUS.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur with words from another happy customer.
Atrius Software Accounting is amazing. I was able to see where's all my expenses going, where's the revenue, which month had more revenue. I definitely recommend it to you guys who are a small business and need to record your expenses. And they just make it so easy. I was like, wow, affordable and easy to use. I have recommended it to colleagues.
Easy to learn, easy to use. Small business software tailored just for you.
Visit us at patriotsoftware.com. That's patriotsoftware.com.
With patriotsoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
I'm about to compare a pepper shaker to a cash-out refinance. Hang with me. You know when you're at a restaurant and they ask, would you like some fresh ground pepper? And then they crank that giant tube, but almost nothing comes out? For me, only a certain amount of time is socially acceptable to wait. I know that getting that pepper out might make my life better, but it just seems too impossible. And that's what we hear people say about the cash-out refinance. People realize that the value of their home has gone up like hot pepper the last few years, leaving all this extra money sitting inside their home. But is it too hard to get out? It's Ryan from United Faith Mortgage. If you're interested in cashing out the extra pepper in your home, we're good at doing all the work while you just sit back and relax. And often, your mortgage payment and years in the loan will stay the same. If you'd like to hear about your options,
We are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
All your drywall projects are satisfaction guaranteed with the team at 123drywall.com. Drywall finishing. They're the experts with decades of experience and satisfied customers. The quality work they do over a handyman can make a huge difference. From the small fixes to big projects like custom home finishings and remodels, this is the team to trust. Give Kelly a call. Set up your free estimate. 303-988-1709. That's 303-988-1709 or 123drywall.com and tell them Steffan sent you.
Fact. Our bodies are under attack
every day. Whether it's COVID, vaccines, the air we breathe, the water we drink, and even the food we eat, we are constantly trying to keep up with the Colorado weather, fighting off stress and inflammation. But there's a solution. C60 Complete. C60 Complete is a scientist-formulated, doctor-approved antioxidant supplement that helps you achieve a longer, healthier, and happier life. Do what I'm doing to improve my health and go to purebellavita.com. That's purebellavita.com to get your monthly supply today.
News Talk 710 KNUS. Listen live on Odyssey. Now, back to Steffan Tubbs. News Talk 710 KNUS.
Gave you 17 packets of mild sauce from Taco Bell. It's all part of the dramatic Skip the Stuff campaign in the city of Denver and Decay. This is great too. Not sure if you knew this. I think we mocked it. In fact, I know we mocked it. We mock a lot. We aim to please. Did you know that there is a Denver Climate Action, Sustainability, and Resiliency Office? Yes. There is. They took Kendra Black's still getting plastic forks and condiments in your to-go orders, narc on, whomever, fill out this form and let us know. The Denver Climate Action, Resiliency, Inequity, Indigenous, You're a Racist Department retweeted it with the following: "You won't miss what you don't need. When ordering takeout or delivery, say no thanks to single-use condiments, utensils, straws, and napkins, and help Denver. Skip the stuff." Oh, it's almost like the "don't say gay" bill. It just rolls off the tongue. Skip the stuff. Well, what I didn't mention in our last segment, and I will in our final one, is I believe the kids call this getting ratioed. And, well, Kendra Black has been ratioed. The tweet, well, there's one like, probably by Kendra Black's other secret burner account, and then there are 13 comments. Now, for a city council woman in the city of Denver, that's actually quite a bit of comment, because most people probably pay no attention to her, and that, with all due respect, that's life. Jason commented on the, narc tweet. "While crime continues to skyrocket, this is what the Denver City Council's concerned about?" ? I was a flamethrower, kind of. I tweeted, "This may be called being called ratioed, but what do we know?" Somebody else says, "This isn't a problem the government needs to be involved with. Can't you find something useful to do with them, or stop getting takeout? No need to target businesses." This one: "I, as a Denver resident, expect utensils without asking when I order food. It's common sense. So sad they get away. Government gets away with these silly laws. Blah, blah, blah. Shame on you." This one: "How about no, Karen? Sorry, Kendra. Same thing." That was actually, that's pretty funny. And this one from a woman named Michelle: "This is what communists do. Tell the government on your neighbors. Disgraceful." And one other: "Congratulations. This is the most communist thing I've read all day." It didn't go well. It didn't go well for Kendra on Twitter this week. Well, there's always later tonight or tomorrow. Listen, friends, it's tough with the economy right now. We're all paying more. Don't turn to credit cards, though, to pay for the things you need as prices rise. Paying off your debt now probably smartly is the most important thing you could do. Get out of debt. And if you're a homeowner, you need cash, call my friends at the Town Group. They're around for you, especially if you're, say, a business owner, you got large write-offs, or self-employed with no W-2s. Get with Melissa at the Town Group. They specialize in jumbo loans for the self-employed. Silver lining with the skyrocketing home values, maybe now you can unlock that equity that maybe you never had access to before. If other lenders have said no, give Melissa 5 minutes to hear your story, because with the equity, she can likely get you into a loan. So if you have the income to buy but a limited down payment, call the Town Group before you get priced out of the market. 833-MY-JUMBO. That's 833-MY-JUMBO, or online anytime. It's towngroupmortgage.com. Look way up there. Well, you couldn't see it, but something did.
Astronomers have released the first wild but fuzzy image of a supermassive black hole at the center of our own Milky Way galaxy. The image was made by using 8 synchronized radio telescopes around the world.
The reason why this is important is because although we've theorized about the existence of black holes, we haven't been able to directly observe a black hole.
Derek Pitts is chief astronomer with the Franklin Institute. Jim Krasula, CBS News.
I'm Peter King. Matt Damon's portrayal of astronaut Mark Watney in The Martian could have been the role model for this.
It's been 48 sols since I planted the potatoes, so now it's time to reap and resow.
University of Florida scientists obtained lunar soil from 3 Apollo missions. They chose a plant that they knew could grow in a lot of environments.
It's been on the space shuttle. It's been on the International Space Station.
Scientist Rob Furl says using a gram or about a teaspoon of soil, they planted the seeds in a fairly normal indoor environment.
Within the first few days, we knew that seeds would germinate on lunar soil.
Furl says this bodes well for growing plants and food on the moon, perhaps like Mark Watney on Mars. Peter King, CBS News, Orlando.
All right, as we wrap up, I got to pile on. I just have to. Kendra Black, Denver City Councilwoman, District 4, her latest tweet just an hour ago. You cannot make this stuff up. High gas prices impacting your pocketbook? Try walking, biking, using mass transit, or working from home on #NoDriveFriday. It is good for your body. It's environmentally friendly and doesn't cost $4.50 a gallon. Stop that. My message for Kendra Black: you, like most elected officials with D's in front of them, and frankly, a lot of ours as well, you are full of shit. And that's, friends, how we wrap up today's program. It was a winner, baby. Oh, yeah, it was.
That's all there is to it.
That was a good one, Matthew. For producer Matt Steinkruger, Roger Criddlebaugh in the newsroom. Don't forget George tomorrow, 6 to 10. Again, one more night for you to watch Bottle Shock, our film this week. We'll talk all about it tomorrow. Steffan Tubbs saying stay safe and healthy. Have a great night. And remember our troops. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
The Western Conservative Summit is one of the